Pokémon Legends Arceus is a game that is really special to me. It helped me get through a rough point in my life, and it was the formula change that I needed to really get back into Pokémon. So when I found out that we'd be getting a second Legends game, I knew that I just had to do something special for it. So I would continue the story of my character from Legends Arceus, Akari. And that was an interesting experience that had some of its own little twists. It took me way too long to put this movie together, but it's finally done. So without further ado, this is my playthrough of Pokémon Legends ZA and the story of how Akari saved Lumiose City. I hope you enjoy. Our story begins on a train heading to Lumiose City, where our protagonist, Akari, is mindlessly scrolling through brain rot. Once upon a time, Akari lived in Sanjim Town of the Sinnoh region. She worked as an assistant to Professor Rowan, who never really seemed to appreciate her efforts. And even her own family seemed to have their favorite child. So Akari grew up in a world that just didn't seem to care for her. But all of that changed when she was taken to the Hisui region of the distant past. The Galaxy team took her in, and the people of Jubilife Village warmly welcomed her. Akari would soon come to find them as her true family, and the village as her true home. And she would go on to become the greatest hero ever just to protect them and ensure the village had a future. But now, she's been pulled out of her home and back into the world that never wanted her. And as the train pulled into the station, a mysterious creature takes refuge in Akari's travel bag. Yeah, some people just kind of flicker in and out of existence. That's a bit weird, but okay. And so Akari leaves the station, completely unaware of the adventure that awaited her. Shortly after taking our first steps into Lumiose City, we meet Urbane and his trio of partner Pokémon. Snert? Urbane wants to use Akari in a promo ad for Hotel Z, and then he immediately starts flirting with her. And you're about my height, we'll look natural standing side by side. Akari had never been hit on before, so she's not exactly sure what the appropriate response was supposed to be. Yeah, thanks, I think you're really tall too. What? But they're interrupted by a commercial on a nearby screen. Jet, the CEO of Quasartico Inc., gives us the traditional Pokemon Professor intro and explains how her company is using their holotech to establish wild zones. This is a part of the urban redevelopment project aimed at allowing people and Pokemon to live alongside one another. Of course, the star of the show was the Skiddo. That dude had no idea what was going on, and it was kind of adorable. In the meantime, Akari's bag was yoinked by a Panjam, or as Urbane put it, wait, so your bag got bag-napped? So we chased the little panda thief down some sketchy alleyways, running into Andy and Andre, two trainers in the ZA Royale who apparently got demolished by Urbane the previous night. They hold Akari's bag hostage until we beat them in a Pokemon battle. Akari was no stranger to battling, but she would need a Pokemon, and Urbane was generous enough to let her borrow one of his. It was a very, very, very hard decision, but I have ultimately decided on good old Tepig. I'm sure a lot of people were interested in learning the new battle system, but I had something else on my mind. Oh, sorry, Tepig. I kind of want to see what happens if I lose. Okay, so we only have like a really small battlefield. Oh no. Alright, so Tepig goes down. It's okay, I healed up Tepig for you. Think about mixing in moves. Okay. But we do have to win. That's unfortunate. This time around, Urbane and Akari crushed their opponents, and we learned the secret behind Andy and Andre's friendship. This is why you and I get along so well. We lose together. Urbane went in for a fist bump, but after 3 years in the distant past, Akari was too socially awkward to understand. He also allowed her to keep the Tepig. And of course, his name shall be Snert. Oh, he just did a tail bump. That's adorable. Oh, it's the first time seeing the saving screen. That is so awesome. This is what I got the game for. I really wanted to see the save screen. And then Night fell. We were trapped in a battle zone where trainers in the ZA Royale were lurking. Unfortunately, a group of trainers was camping by the exit. Urbane stepped in heroically to protect Akari, but fortunately the most infamously unobtainable Pokemon ever appeared and was able to talk things out. Urbane formally introduced us to Floette, noting that she was over 3,000 years old, because apparently no one ever told him that it was impolite to mention a lady's age. And then we finally reached our destination. Welcome to our humble establishment, Hotel Z. You won't find a more tranquil, relaxing stay anywhere in Lumiose City. Since we don't have a single other guest. This is where Akari first met the absolute giant of a hotel owner. So this is the owner of the travel bag sitting over there. He and Floette seem to be the only ones to notice the tiny green gloop slithering away. Urbane talked Akari up to the hotel owner and explained that he had given her his tepig. A wise decision. People and Pokemon meet when fate dictates it should be so. I believe that you've been led here because this is where you're meant to be. And Akari didn't really believe him, but there was a part of her that hoped he was right. After all, she hadn't felt like she'd belonged anywhere since Hisui. I am AZ, and as the owner of Hotel Z, I welcome you. And then she was given the key to room 202, where she headed off to unpack. Did I get some booze? Oh. And finally, after a long day of travel, Akari settled in for some well-needed sleep. Sorry, I said I know you should sleep, but can we talk for a second? Begging your pardon, dear guest, I neglected to show you our hotel's true gem, a stunning panorama. That means, come on, you gotta see the roof. I like Urbane, he's a good egg. I ship him and Akari. A bit late now, but welcome to Lumiose City. They shared a beautiful nighttime view of Lumiose, and Urbane began to open up to Akari. Listen, I owe AZ big time for all the help he's given me since I got here. I want to do right by him in return, not to put you on the spot, but think you could give me a hand? And she was hesitant. She had only been planning on staying in Lumiose for a day or two, but Urbane had helped her out and even given her a Pokemon, so she felt like she owed him as much as he owed AZ. You're the best. A girl accompanied by a Zygarde cell. Was she also brought here because Lumiose requires her? The following morning, Akari met Urbane in the hotel lobby, and he explained the ZA Royale. The ZA Royale is a big Pokemon battle tournament that's taking Lumiose by storm. I'm competing in it too, actually. I'm trying to become the strongest trainer around so I can help protect Lumiose. This is actually what I wanted your help with. Remember our talk on the roof last night? I know this is sudden, but can you join the ZA Royale too? It's been a while since she's had any real fun, so it wouldn't hurt to enjoy yourself at least a little bit, would it? And then I made a very on-point prediction. The bigwigs around here really want to find a crop of strong trainers. Oh! The ZA Royale. It's like a front to find someone to deal with whatever the heck was happening to the tower. I get ya. I'll set up the app for you. I can put my contact info in while I'm at it. Dude, look at Urbane smoothly giving Akari his number. He's definitely hitting on her. Akari officially joined Urbane's team, Team MZ. She got a new jacket, took the most boring profile photo ever, and registered for the ZA Royale. And then I made a not very on point prediction. Puts my mind at ease knowing that you will join the ZA Royale, Akari. Lumiose bustles today with people and Pokemon, but beneath the surface lurks a terrible grief. Oh, is that the catacombs that everyone was talking about when the game had first been revealed? Urbane taught Akari how to dodge roll, even though she was already very familiar with the concept. Unfortunately, the noise would draw the ire of another member of Team MZ. Urbane, can you turn it down like 2 notches? Can't you shush him, AZ, yell at him a little? And this is Lita. She aspires to be a dancer, coming to Lumiose City to go pro. She also mentions her older brother, but quickly gets cut off. You know, Akari doesn't even know what this word is. She just read it in her English Colossian dictionary. And yes, she's gonna pronounce it enchanty, like the stupid tourist that she is. Next up after rolling is Pokemon battling. Meet me out front in Hotel Z. I have been given so much power. Oh, dude, this is awesome. I can teabag! Yes! Best game, 10 out of 10. If guests see people battling Pokemon right out front, they're gonna think this is one weird hotel. Well, good news, Lita. We have no guests. Akari stepped outside for her first battle with Urbane. So you presumably have Totodile, right? No, okay. Yeah, I forgot. Rivals don't actually pick the type advantage anymore. Alright. Start off with a Nimber. Then go for a Tail Whip. And straight into a Tackle. Not bad, and then we'll finish with an Ember. Can I actually dodge in battle? Oh, I can't dodge in battle. I can't believe you knocked out Chikorita, but we're not through yet. What do you mean we're not done yet? Oh! Oh, you sneaky little son of a bitch! Even after getting caught off guard by the Totodile, Akari was able to pull out the win. Urbane told Akari that it was finally time for her to catch some new Pokemon, and I learned that I cannot read. Pokémon Center. Oasis? Oases? They're Oasis? Oh wait, Oasis? Oasis? Oh my gosh. The path to the Pokemon Center had unfortunately been blocked off by a pack of wild street boulders, so we had to take an alternate route across the Lumiose rooftops. I'm just gonna yeet myself off the roof. Let's frickin' go! Oh. Yeet! Then it was off to the first wild zone in the city, cleverly named Wild Zone 1. I neglected the catching tutorial and immediately began to goof off. Alright, we're gonna trick shot this stupid bird. You didn't see that. Like you saw, hitting a Pokemon with a Pokeball doesn't guarantee you'll catch it. One more good donk with a Pokeball and I'll bet you get it. That is my new favorite terminology. Time to donkey with a Pokeball. Anyway, Akari makes a quick visit to the Pokemon Research Lab. She was directed to the top floor to meet with the acting director, that short-sighted nitwit, who turned out to be Mabel, a former member of Team Flare. Mabel tells us that there is a large influx of wild Pokemon coming to Lumiose City, and recruits Akari into helping her with her research. And she comes up with a very creative name for aforementioned research. Since I'm Mabel, we'll call this Mabel's Research. Would you happen to be Akari? This is Naveen, a fellow member of Team MZ, and someone quite interested in fashion and sewing and the like. He gave Akari a hat that she would immediately take off, and then disappeared as quickly as he had appeared. We have camera. We can remove the— oh, there's still like a little plus sign in the middle. That is unfortunate, but oh, this is awesome. She's experiencing every single emotion. I also grabbed the Mr. Gift Ralts, and since it was a female, named it Valerie. Back at the hotel, Akari was having some tea with Urbane. Then she was pinged for her first ever promotion match in the ZA Royale, a battle against a taxi driver named Zach. But first, she needed Challenger's ticket. Little Ralts. Oh, I can stand inside my Ralts. I can teabag my Ralts. I don't know if that's something I should be excited about. So Team MZ took Akari out that night, where they would guide her through her first battle zone. Lita gave some sound advice about sneaking up and ambushing other trainers, but just kidding, we're gonna go in with Reckless Abandon. After a few scuffles, the Challenger's ticket was secured. Let's go! And so did Snert! They actually used the Pokemon's nickname! and they jumped straight on to the promotion match. Zach's fought in a lot of promotion matches. Notice I said fought in and not won. Oh, that's depressing. I suppose you think you're gonna win? Climb over me to reach the next rank? A piece of ghetto. Well, I won't make it easy for you because this taxi driver has a taxi dream. I'm gonna reach rank A and abolish all forms of transit in Lumiose City except taxis. You know what? I admire it. I want him to win. Akari was expecting that her past experience with Pokemon would help carry her through to an easy victory, but... well, she never had to face a taxi driver in Hisui, so she might have gotten a little overconfident. Okay, I know I just said piece of ghetto, but we are desperately close to losing here. Okay, hopefully we don't have to deal with another water type, because I think we are cooked beyond all comprehension right now. But right there at the end, the Tepig Onslaught proved to be too much for Zach's Pikachu. Oh, we did it! Oh, yes! Yes! This is why they call me Le Z Eternal, the Eternal Z. And so Akari had officially made it to rank Y. You chose your moves. Ooh, I know who this is. This is when we meet Emma, a well-known detective in Lumiose City. I was pretty excited to see her back in this game, and even played through the Looker chapters in X and Y to get her full backstory, but sadly, she doesn't really have much of a main role in Legends ZA. She's just kind of a secondary character. But she does mention that Urbane is looking for someone, and that's a detail that I would severely misinterpret much later on. She also does the anime run. To celebrate Akari's new rank, Team MZ had a wonderful dinner of, it's my brainchild, croissant curry. I created it to be the hotel's sought-after signature dish. That sends my appetite into overdrive. I could eat your cooking forever, Urbane. I reject that monstrosity altogether. Akari found Team MZ's mealtime banter to be quite warming, and in some ways, it even made her feel at home. Between Urbane, Hotel Z, and the ZA Royale, maybe sticking around here wasn't such a bad idea after all. The following morning, Urbane took Akari out on a date, or field trip, to see the iconic Prism Tower. But stepping outside yielded a rather unexpected sight. What the heck is this? Tarragon is the head of Racine Construction, a group that's working on the urban redevelopment plan and the ones responsible for all of the scaffolding around Lumiose City. Apparently, they pride themselves on turning them into obstacle courses, which I'm surprised doesn't violate any safety regulations. They're also huge fans of someone named Canary, and even share a Canary plush with us. These Canary plushes function similar to the charms of Legends Arceus and provide useful effects when you obtain them. And we find our first cluster of Mega Crystals, mysterious crystals that have been growing all over Lumiose City. They're easy enough to smash, except when you use String Shot, and the shards can later on be traded for some pretty cool stuff. Valued guest of Hotel Z, I present you with the very jewel of Lumiose City, the Prism Tower. Cool tower, bro. Would be a shame if something bad happened to it. YOLO. Woo! Oh, I was aiming for the river. Urbane ditches Akari on their date, or field trip, at the entrance to Wild Zone 2. And that would be his loss, because Akari was about to have an epic encounter. Binnacle. You know what? I actually... No shot. That is 110% a shiny Magikarp. No fucking way I already found my first shiny. I actually ran out of Pokeballs at this point, which was a bit concerning after a shiny encounter. Fortunately, I had a code for 100 Pokeballs, so problem solved, I guess. My lovely golden carp would soon turn into a red Gyarados, so of course, I named her Green. Akari finally caught up to Urbane for their field trip, or date, at a food truck she could not pronounce the name of. It's called Novu. It's called the No Uvu Cafe. I cannot speak. Interesting character design. I'm curious if they're related to someone that I just don't know. Yeah, in hindsight, it's kind of obvious, like the logo is right there, but it wouldn't really click until much later. Urbane drops some pretty interesting information about Prism Tower. Looks super modern, right? Well, AZ says it's actually been around for a pretty long time. Then the date is interrupted by Vinny. He's the secretary to Jet of Quasartico Inc. and already seems to be well acquainted with Urbane. Vinny apologizes for the state of the city during the redevelopment project, and sadly informs our couple that they cannot visit Prism Tower. Which is unfortunate for Urbane because Akari has always been a sucker for a good view, and taking her to see the city from the top of Prism Tower likely would have gotten him to first base. Not that I even know what that means because I don't watch soccer. Instead, Urbane suggests visiting Emma at the Looker Bureau. Doesn't really seem like a date hotspot, but Akari's got nowhere better to be, so why not? But there was a crowd outside of Wild Zone 3, and Urbane wanted to check it out. At the heart of the crowd was Ivor, the leader of a group known as the Fist of Justice. He believes that wild zones are preventing people and Pokemon from truly coexisting, and that people should be made into strong and capable trainers so that the zones would no longer be needed. Urbane was not convinced. This guy's wasting his breath. That'll never work. Josie, one of Ivor's disciples, overheard this and challenged Akari to a battle? Wait, why Akari and not Urbane? And look, I don't know, but despite Josie being the 5th strongest disciple, she went down like a sack of wet potatoes. But our victory caught Ivor's attention. I feel there must be some secret to the strength you displayed just now. You must have mastered having your Pokemon learn moves. Well, yeah. And then he walked off into Legend. Next stop, the Looker Bureau. Now, I was in a rough spot a while back, on the brink of exhaustion wandering the streets. Emma was the one that saved me and brought me to AZ. This is a nice little reflection of Emma's own backstory, where she was the one on the streets before being taken in and helped by Looker. We caught Emma sleeping, but she brushed it off. She wanted Akari to help with her detective work and even assigned her a few cases, which are the game's side quests. Alright, what is this? A colorful screw. Well, screw you too, I guess. Anyway, the first case took us to this woman outside the cemetery. While visiting the grave of a loved one, she was startled by a wild Pokemon and lost her ring. But off in the corner of the cemetery that certainly wouldn't be important later, we fought against and captured the wild Sableye and reclaimed the ring, thus completing our first case. And then, Akari found the shopping mall, and it was time for a new look. She felt a lot more like herself after letting her hair down, and even bought a coat that reminded her of her old Survey Corps uniform. The second case featured Tracy, a girl who's looking for a Pokemon to evolve with a Thunderstone, or more specifically, Pikachu, and she offers a Heracross in return. Dude, Heracross is like one of my favorite Pokemon ever, so I would gladly take an effing Heracross for a Pikachu. Boys, dude, the boys! Pikachu evolved, and boys the Heracross was quickly accepted onto Team Akari. The third and final case took us to Travel. There's a menace on the loose in Lumiose, and that menace is none other than a great big Bunnelby. Oh! It's huge and terrifying and awesome. After chipping away at it with boys the Heracross, Akari decided to finish it off one-on-one. Alright, screw it. I'm gonna 1v1 this thing. We're going old school Hisui on its ass. Haha, yo! And as thanks for cracking those cases, Emma whips out her Ampharos and Mega Evolves it, giving us our first look at Mega Evolution in the game. She also tells us to keep an eye out for a black 4-legged Pokemon. Oh hey, I think I found it. And Akari gets pinged for her second promotion match against a trainer named Yvonne. And so it was time for a promotion match. Yvonne's wish was to have Lumiose City hold a marathon, and as a loyal member of the Guild of Couch Potatoes, Akari knew that she must stop this woman at all costs. Which she did, with a lot of ease. R.I.P. And with that, Akari officially reached rank X. The next morning, Lita pried into Naveen's backstory, but he wasn't too keen on spilling the beans. I'm not particularly interested in all of your business, and I wish you'd stay out of mine. But that didn't stop Lita. She arranged a battle between him and Akari, where the beans would be spilt if Naveen lost. Lita won't let this go until we put it to bed, so I suppose I'll battle you. But make no mistake, I'm gonna give it my all because I don't like to talk about my life. Same. As it turns out, Ivor was completely correct. Akari had mastered having her Pokemon learn moves, so she was able to win pretty handily. And even Naveen seemed to realize this. Suppose I could stand to learn a thing or two from this. Perhaps I'll rethink Scraggy's moves. And so the beans were spilled. Naveen's grandma won't let him follow his dreams. She wanted me to concentrate on improving my test score, but I was more interested in doing fashion sketches than academics. Still, she didn't have to go and throw away all of my sewing equipment. That is a little bit harsh. But with that family drama aside, Akari's next promotion match awaited. Her opponent was a young child named Zavi, whose Pokemon were quickly pummeled by the power of our protagonist's Pignite. Dude, Snurt is putting in the work. He is amazing. Akari would have felt bad for crushing this kid so easily, but beating up children's Pokemon and then stealing their lunch money is just a rite of passage for trainers nowadays. With rank W secured, it was back to the hotel for yet another celebration. Oh man, you cooked up another masterpiece, Urbane. I can't wait. Lita, you know we're not celebrating you, right? Well, it won't feel like we're celebrating anyone if the rest of us just sit here quiet and hungry. Naveen, how about you relax and enjoy some croissant curry? No thank you. Croissant and curry stand alone nicely, but together they are less than the sum of their parts. But they make a whole new flavor when you put them together, just like all of us in Team MZ. I'd rather you didn't compare us to this culinary atrocity. Lita rushed off to dance practice, leaving her things behind. And of course, the responsibility of returning them fell onto Akari's shoulders. Aw, you brought me my stuff. You know, you're just as dependable as Urbane. Speaking of which, you totally have a crush on him, don't you? What? No, I don't. But didn't you go on that date with him that one time? That was a field trip. To a cafe, just the two of us. Oh sure, whatever you say, Akari. You're dealing with a lot yourself though, right? Trying to win ZA Royale is a big deal. Not that I haven't had a bunch happening on my end too. You can see what's happening is dancing. I know this great dancers whose footstep I want to follow in, so I came to Lumiose for dance school. But see, the friend I was rooming with at first signed on with a talent agency and had to move. I was only able to come here at all because I had gotten a scholarship. I don't know how I've been able to work enough to make rent on my own. Jeez. This gets fucking real fast. Lita asked Akari for a battle to help her and Staryu find their new groove. And yeah, Akari grooved all over them. She also got the ping for her next promotion match, a waiter named Rintaro. Unfortunately, the promotion match would have to wait because Akari got distracted by this one woman's request. So what's up with you and your sheep? I saw it. A shiny Mareep? I was wondering if there was gonna be like a guaranteed shiny encounter like there was in Legends Arceus. Would a Mareep spawn up here? I guess it would. And it is a shiny Mareep. Okay, so there is a guaranteed shiny. Shiny. Like, the average shiny reaction. I hate to break it to you, lady, but I'm gonna catch that. It's mine. I will push you off the roof if I have to. Oh, there's like a little glowy, sparkly effect around it. You're shiny, you get the dive ball. Yay. She also got a call from Mabel, asking for her to come to the research lab. Huh. Mabel explained that her predecessor left these Pokemon for any interesting trainers, and somehow Akari qualified for that position. Okay, this kind of puts me in a bit of a pickle. Because I already have Pignite, so Charmander's probably off the table. Squirtle sounds pretty good, but I have a shiny Gyarados that I kind of want to lean into. Screw it, we're taking Squirtle. Yeah. R.I.P. Bulbasaur. Akari did not even consider him. Squirtle was bestowed the name Squirrel, and I'm not entirely sure if he'll ever appear again in this video, but don't worry, he's happily living his best life as a Mega Blastoise now. Distractions aside, Akari went in for her promotion match. Oh, you picked a bad start, my friend. Surprisingly, this waiter had a couple tricks up his sleeve. Oh, good move, my friend, good move. He's pretty good about using Protect, and even with a type advantage, it still turned into a bit of a slugging match, but eventually the last monkey fell, and that's rank V in the bag. After leaving the restaurant, Akari got a call from Emma. It seems the Pokemon that she was looking for was nearby, but Akari wasn't paying any attention. She had been distracted by a dog. She had always been a dog lover and desperately wanted to boop the snoot. But the dog must have sensed this, and it ran away. So Akari chased after it. Whatever Emma had been saying probably wasn't important anyway. Akari found the dog staring up at a building, but before she could sneak in for the snoot boop, it grabbed her and, in a rather awkwardly ambiguous cutscene, drags her to the roof. Seriously, forget voice acting. I think Pokemon needs, actual animations for cutscenes like this. And then it noped out of there. On that roof was an Absol, coated in a mysterious energy. Then Emma appeared on scene. And the dog's name is Zygarde, by the way, which Akari does not find cute at all. And the detective picked up some strong Mega Power readings. Dude, Lucario looks so small next to AZ. The Absol seem to be undergoing what is known as Rogue Mega Evolution. AZ sends Lucario up with a Mega Ring for Akari, where the two of them would have to team up to take down and pacify the Rogue Mega Absol. Alright. First Mega Battle. Oh, dude, we are in the distortion world over here. This is gonna be a piece of cake. Fortunately, this was not Akari's first rodeo with a massive murderous rampaging Pokemon. She was a bit out of practice, but now she had a Mega Lucario to help cover her weak points. Now, these rogue Mega battles are like a bit of a crossover between the noble Pokemon of Legends Arceus and the Terra Raids of Scarlet and Violet. They'll try to take you out while you have to dodge around and have your Pokemon attack. It can get a bit tricky later on, having to manage both yourself and your Pokemon, but this first fight wasn't all that bad. Oh, do I get to keep this Lucario after the battle? Kind of like what happened in X and Y, where oh my gosh! After a hard-fought battle, Akari and Lucario managed to take down the Mega Absol. Good night, sweet prince. We've toppled Absol, our first rogue Mega. Akari gets a free Absolite, and I make another prediction that completely missed the mark. But I wonder why Zygarde led you here in the first place. I get the feeling that potentially a Mega Xerneas Mega Yveltal is going rogue underneath Prism Tower, and Zygarde's trying to buff us up in order to take it on. That's my guess. That's my theory for the story. Also, Urbane's here, and Emma finally brought Akari into the loop. Recently, there have been incidents around the city where wild Pokemon have been Mega Evolving all on their own. A certain company has been monitoring this situation, and to get that information, they need to keep winning in the ZA Royale. And this is what Urbane needed Akari's help with. You remember I talked about wanting to protect Lumiose, right? Well, Rogue Mega Evolution is what we want to protect it from. Suddenly, Absol. Is this the Absol that Rogue Mega evolved? Indeed, it seems grateful to Akari for saving it from its suffering. Perhaps you should keep this Absol at your side. Hey, free Absol. They say our lives are defined by our encounters. Be sure to treasure this encounter with Absol. I will forget the part where it tried to murder me. Another day dawns, and Vinny calls, summoning Akari and Urbane to Quasartico HQ. But before then, Urbane wants to help Akari get familiar with Mega Evolution. Specifically, he wants her to use her new Mega Absol, stating that she will have no one to Mega Evolve without Absol in the party. But Gardevoir. I'm gonna see if I can get away with Mega Evolving my Gardevoir in this battle. Does the game actually check if I Mega Evolve Absol, or does it just check if I Mega Evolve? Oh, Mega Gardevoir. She's got a nice dress, I'll give her that. Mega Gardevoir blasted through his party, including his Mega Manectric. And I don't think it really matters what Pokemon you choose to Mega in this fight, or even if you choose to Mega at all, but it still requires an Absol in the party for some reason. On the way to Quasartico, I found this Carbink. Cardonk, because I donk stuff with a Pokeball. Originally, I wanted to use it as a bit of a meme, but this thing would go on to become the Destroyer of Worlds. Akari also tried a street side makeover, ending up very green. Delabird's in the game! Let's go! Please tell me there's a Mega Delibird. This is Quasartico's building. It was only built about 3 years ago. This whole vision of a city where people and Pokemon live in harmony. Nothing that big becomes a reality overnight. Bet people have been working on it for a while. The Dedenne guards approached us, but since we had an invitation, they allowed us inside. I'm just kidding, we beat the crap out of them. Given our aims to coexist with Pokemon here in Lumiose, it seems fitting to employ some of them as guards. But it's less than ideal if they're defeated. I'm curious. You use the term employ, so are they on your payroll? Like, are you giving paychecks to Dedenne? And if so, what do Dedenne buy? Like, do these Dedenne, do they have like an apartment? Do they have to like pay rent, mortgage, groceries? Despite just assaulting their guards for literally no reason, Vinny was still willing to meet with Urbane and Akari. Allow me to be direct in my inquiry. Do you know what became of the Absol that underwent Rogue Mega Evolution? It was Urbane's fault, I tried to stop him. But Vinny was actually quite pleased with Akari's success. He explained that Quasartico had become aware of the Rogue Mega problem, but it's becoming more common and they're lacking the manpower to deal with it. And so the company established the ZA Royale in hopes of finding strong trainers to help them resolve the crisis, as well as to help AZ in his goal of finding the strongest Mega Evolution user in Lumiose City. Vinny seeks Urbane and Akari's help as well, and he sets them up with a special promotion match where they will jump all the way from rank V to rank F, bypassing most of the ZA Royale. I want to protect the people and Pokemon of Lumiose, and that means helping out the poor Pokemon undergoing Rogue Mega Evolution. Looks like we'll need ourselves some Challengers tickets. But once again, Akari got distracted by a rather trashy side quest. See these little ones here? They're Trubbish, the trash bag Pokemon. They've developed a taste for our cafe's food scraps, so they keep coming back. Trub. I've made a nice bag of tasty trash using our food scraps. Do you think you could use it to lead the Trubbish over to the garbage bins? Bag of tasty trash. That is the greatest key item ever made in all of Pokemon. A Phalanx impression? Seems tough, but hang in there. Alright, gang, single file line. We're gonna become the trashy Phalanx. Man, I really hope Phalanx is actually in this game, but I don't think it is. If you walked all the way down here, why didn't you bring the bag? Do I get tasty trash? Dang it. And then she got sidetracked catching a Gibble. Duskball Gibble? Perfect. Okay, I'm thinking Gibble might make the team. And it did, becoming a Gabite named Booze. Anyway, Akari was ready for her match against Vinny. Alright, I think I can probably handle Vinny. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I didn't bring my AT. Hey, he has eyes! I mean, well, obviously, but this was the beginning of Cardonk's reign of terror, where he quickly laid waste to most of Vinny's team. Don't go through the fire and the flames! I see, he's creating hazards on the field. Alright. I'm learning. And then he ends with a Baneri, of course. I was not expecting the ace he had up his sleeve. Drampa's in this game! I love Drampa! No shot. He's mega Drampa. Oh my. I did not see this coming. I don't know what it looks like or what to expect. Okay, that's actually really sick, I'm not gonna lie. Mega Drampa wrecked my team so bad that it actually used up all of its Mega energy and unmega'd. It's probably one of my favorite new Megas in this game, and I'm so glad that I got to experience it completely unspoiled. Yeah, so it's Dragon Normal. But dude, Mega Drampa's... awesome! Akari jumped up the rankings all the way to rank F. And then it was Urbane's turn. There's no way you beat a Mega Drampa with a Bay Leaf. Don't even start. Now that you have joined the upper ranks, we can speak frankly about our next steps. Please join me inside as soon as you're ready. Now seated comfortably inside of Quasartico HQ. Why is he sitting like that? Like he's like driving a car. It was time for some exposition. Vinny revealed that they had been keeping the Rogue Mega Crisis under wraps for 2 entire years. It had been AZ that had approached Quasartico back then, seeking to work with them to resolve it. They discovered that the mysterious power that they call Mega Power has been accumulating in the city, and that it was responsible for triggering the Rogue Mega Evolutions. 6 months ago, they witnessed the very first Rogue Mega Evolution, a Pidgeot. AZ, as ancient as he is, lacked the ability to stay in the fight for too long. So Urbane stepped in to help out of nowhere and battled alongside Floette to pacify the Pokémon. And that's how Urbane learned of the crisis, and how Team MZ came to be formed. So Akari, now you know why it's so important for Team MZ to be so strong. But there were still some goodies to be found at Quasartico HQ. Gyaradocyte, Lucarionite, Heracronite, Aerodactyl, all of these are, oh, the Dramponite! I don't even know where Drampa's found. I gotta find a Drampa, but alright, I'm buying the Gyaradocyte. Let's do it. Shiny Mega Gyarados! Let's go! Snert can achieve his final form. I don't think they get regionals, I think they get megas in this game. Yeah, that is a standard Imbor. I was kind of hoping they'd get regional forms, but I'm not gonna complain if there's a mega. Hey, where's my Mega Gyarados? Oh, typical Akari takes her Mega Gyarados shopping with her. And guess who was waiting at Nouveau Cafe? It was Naveen, and he seemed to be troubled by something very important. Akari, if you keep winning your way up the ranks in the ZA Royale, eventually you'll have to face the gamer prodigy, the streaming sensation of the keyboard legions. You're gonna have to battle Kanari. Who? She's an electrifying streamer who slings cutting commentary in her snarking yet affectionate tone. Is that Bonnie, but like grown up? Because I noticed she's got a lot of electric type stuff in the background. And that blonde hair, that style kinda reminds me of that. But I don't think her eyes were blue. So do you really plan on battling Kanari? That Kanari? The Kanari? Yes? You mustn't. So you probably figured this out, but Naveen here's a pretty serious Kanari simp. I mean fan. To me, what matters is watching all of her content and learning all there is to know about her. Then I can design amazing outfits that she could wear in her streams. Isn't part of her appeal the fact that she always just wears her own regular clothes on stream? Oh, what do you know anyway? Would you deny my humble dream to design an outfit for someone I so admire? Fortunately, Vinny called in with some new tasks for Team MZ, so this cringe fest came to a rather quick conclusion. And so it was time for Team MZ's first official strategy meeting. According to Vinny's information, there were 3 Pokemon at risk of Rogue Mega Evolution. Oh no! I almost missed the start of... Why are you like this? I think we should split up and each head to a different Pokemon's location. Then Akari can circle around and lend some firepower to each spot. How come? Because I am fucking awesome! Team MZ rode off to war, and AZ pulled Akari aside. So you have committed yourself to saving the Pokemon suffering from Mega Evolution. If that's the case, you should have this. Aha! The Imborite! Finally! Without further ado, let's see what Mega Imbor looks like. Oh, he's got a staff! And he's fat. Well, fatter. You know what? I like this. Doof seal of approval. That thing survived a punch from a Mega Imbor. That's actually kind of impressive. Akari's first target was the Mega Camerupt, but along the way she tried out another street side makeover, and honestly, okay, you know what? I kind of dig this Akari. This Akari is probably gonna stick around for a while. She arrived on scene for the camera up, but unfortunately, Tarragon, the head of Racine Construction and my favorite character to voice, was doing work in the area.
If you're gonna get in our way, I'll get one of these fellas to battle you.
Fine. But Tony of Dynamo was no match for the power of an alcoholic bite.
You beat us fair and square, so we'll get out of your hair. Alright, crew, we'll clear out for a bit.
You know what, I can respect. I like this guy. He's got a badass name and he's just kind of chill. Gee, I wonder what's gonna go horribly wrong. Who thought that scaffolding was a good idea? Do you really think we'll find a Pokemon about to Mega Evolve on this random rooftop? It's literally right there! It's how do you miss that? It's glowing and everything! Mega Camerupt. Oh, he's huge. That's massive. Akari's battle against the rogue Mega Camerupt went swimmingly well. Her skill with dodging kept her out of danger, while Green the Red Gyarados engaged the rampaging Volcano Camel and Mega Evolved for massive damage. Oh yeah, and Lita was there too, I guess. Alright. Poor Camerupt, he looked so sad and defeated and squished. Akari then caught up with Naveen to take down the rogue Mega Victreebel. I was kind of hoping it would be in like the spooky building that we saw in the trailer, but unfortunately I guess not. Alright. Dude, I love Mega Victreebel so much. He's just so goofy. But thanks to the power of Mega Snert, the glorious Mega Glorp went down without much of an issue. Next up, Urbane and Mega Slowbro. But for this fight, Akari had a secret weapon. Behold, Mega Greg. It's kind of hard to see him because he's small and we're in the middle of a really big fight. This is Greg, the Sableye we caught back in the cemetery side quest. But now he's been trained into a hyper-lethal warrior capable of destroying all... Oh. Hey Urbane, Mega Greg is dead. I don't know what to do. So we finish the fight with Green the Red Gyarados. With the rogue Megas calmed, Akari encountered Kingsley, a man flexing his massive Magikarp. And no, that is not an innuendo. He challenged Akari to find a larger Magikarp, which she did. Kingsley said that using an alpha was cheating, so it became a jumping contest instead. And he still lost. But Kingsley had a new goal. He would set out to Wild Zone 2 and secure his own army of massive Magikarp. And as we would learn much later on, literally nothing would stop him from this goal. Arriving back at Hotel Z, Akari would come face to face with the dog again. Oh, do I get a free Zygarde? Oh, I get to battle Zygarde. So interesting, my first legendary battle in ZA. I am absolutely going to try to catch it, although I'm pretty sure the game will not let me do that. Yeah. You know, I'm going to be honest, I am not very impressed with Zygarde. Unfortunately, legendary Pokemon don't have any money. So for winning, Zygarde gave Akari a... It's a rock? It's a pebble. An ordinary pebble entrusted to you by the Pokemon known as Zygarde. It is completely unremarkable. This is not a pebble. This is like Zygarde's Megastone or something, isn't it? And now, enjoy a plot twist. Wait, who the heck are you? So you're the one. The ghost girl told me I wasn't the one, but now we are the one. Lysander? That's a plot twist I did not see coming. I am called L. Surely you sense it well, the disturbance that threatens order in Lumiose. Mega crystals are erupting all over the city. This strange force, Mega Power, has emerged. And wild Pokemon are succumbing to rogue Mega Evolution. Are you prepared to defend order in Lumiose? Can you face this task and not falter? Sure, why not? I've got nothing better to do. Good reply. I see now why Zygarde took notice of your efforts to help the rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon. And now that you two have battled, it appears that Zygarde has decided it's chosen you. Do you understand the meaning of this? You must become a Pokemon trainer worthy of standing at Zygarde's side. I know who owns this place, that 3,000-year-old man. He will face his sins, but that can wait for another time. What about you? You've got some skeletons in your closet as well. If you'll excuse me. And this was certainly an interesting twist for Akari. She was hoping that her days as the Chosen One were over, but it seems like the universe hadn't quite gotten that memo yet. After this rather monumental plot development, it was back to Team MZ for some, Team MZ stuff. Akari's next promotion match was against Kanari, but they had no idea how to find her, and Naveen wasn't too keen on spilling the beans. But he eventually caved, agreeing to share details if Akari beat him in a battle. Your Mega Evolution usage won't save you. My passion as a fan will win the day for Kanari. Oh hey, Squirrel the Blastoise does make another appearance. He even Mega Evolves as he wipes Naveen's dreams off the map. Oh my gosh. And so Naveen's beans were spilled. The best chance we had at finding Kanari would be at one of her special events. The Kanari Quiz Whiz Contest. It's definitely Bonnie. It is definitely gotta be Bonnie at this point. Cause she did the Prism Tower quiz, didn't she? Yeah, I wasn't really ready to let that one go. But basically, whoever wins the quiz contest can ask Kanari for a favor, including a promotion match. But Akari knows nothing about Kanari. I mean, when you're in the distant past for several years, you kind of lose track of the streamer culture. But don't worry, Naveen has a plan. Akari is going to infiltrate the event, and he's going to give her the answers over a secret earpiece. Akari never thought she'd have to cheat at a contest to dox a streamer, but hey, there's a first time for everything, right? The event was held at the electrical substation, which seems like the most appropriate use for some critical city infrastructure. And it is here that we meet the greatest character in Legends ZA. I haven't seen you before. Are you perchance new to the Dynamo community? I might have memed him a little bit too much, but this dude unironically becomes like one of my favorite characters in the game. And then the contest began. Let's Zappin' Gamers get ready for a jolt. I am gonna start off all of my videos with that now. Don't you f***ing dare. The first round was pretty straightforward, just answering a few questions by walking into one of these big hollow thingies. Akari managed to get through by just guessing and made it into round 2.
While I pride myself in being a Kanari's oldest and most dedicated fan, I must admit you answered those questions astoundingly well. A fluke, no doubt, but maybe your luck will hold. Let's both do our best in round 2.
Most people like him are exhausting. Self-awareness. What a tragic lack of self-awareness. Looks like the only ones moving around 2 of the contests are these 5 right here. Oh no. Oh, that person had a mega ring. That person had a mega icon. They've got a mega. And it looked like they had Chandelure. Do they have a mega Chandelure? For the second round, we needed to bring back Kanari's Electros's favorite snack, a Lumiose Galette. Of course, it had to be the Super Lumiose Galette, so we had to go out of our way. What we're looking for is a Lumiose Galette, obviously. Oh no, no, not the Mega Chandelure girl. I wanted to fight her. I wanted to see Mega Chandelure. You super fan and you new kid. Show me those Lumiose Galettes you brought. He's got a super one as well, doesn't he? Super Lumiose Galette. You mean... Oh no.
You mentioned it in episode 231 of Canna Talk. Shocking side stories, if I'm not mistaken.
Zap and heck, you two. You're both so amazing. Wow, you totally got it right. The 2 remaining trainers will battle, and the victor must answer one final question from me. Get the question right, and you're a winner. Manny's team might have won in cuteness, but they were obliterated by my Alpha Aegislash, Mr. Chicken. The way Aegislash just whipped around and smacked Raichu in the back of the head. That was brutal, but awesome. Alright, it's time for the final question. Everything's ready on this one. When I was a kid, I played my first games on the laptop. Who owned that laptop? The answer is Kanari's grandfather, number 4.
This one's rather deep cut, and the story behind it is quite tragic.
And this tragic backstory is never elaborated upon again, but it is still the correct answer. You know what that means, new kid? You won the Kanari Quiz Whiz contest. Congrats on our fresh-faced underdog. And now, as the champion of the Kanari Whiz Quiz, Akari was able to ask Kanari for anything. I'm gonna go for the autograph.
What are you saying? Just put me on the speaker. Please, Kanari, forget that just now. Would you give my friend an honor of a promotion match?
A promotion match? She's not gonna question the fact that I had an earpiece. The promotion match was to be held at the Racing Construction HQ, which means that I get to voice Tarragon again. Funny how our paths keep crossing, ain't it? I was watching you in the Quiz Whiz contest, and I gotta say, you did great out there, kid. If you can beat me in a battle, I'll tell you everything. So what do you say? Dude, I came here to battle Kanari, but fine. He has a mega thing on his hat. Let's get this Pokemon battle going. Does he have a mega? It's probably gonna be like something we've already seen, and they're gonna save the big Electros for Kanari. I'll admit, I kinda underestimated Tarragon at this point, and I didn't really have my A-team with me. So we were getting kinda wrecked there for a bit. Now here comes the part that terrifies me greatly. Mega Excadrill? Wait a second. Oh, I haven't seen Mega Excadrill before. Oh dude, this is gonna be great. Does it just become like a giant drill? I don't know how. He's just a big drill. Wait a minute. Keep dodging, keep dodging. Okay, fine. All right, Carbink. I'm telling you, this Carbink has come in so clutch. But Mega Excadrill is great. And then a dark truth was revealed. Which is why I feel the need to tell you a secret about my precious kid, Kanari. Oh my. No. I love this game so much. This is so stupid. At first, I thought he was VTubing as an e-girl, but fortunately, it turns out that Kanari was indeed a real person and another personal favorite character of mine. Hey, that looks like me right now, but, you know, with better posture. Kanari's wish for winning the ZA Royale would be to hold video game tournaments to help bring the people of Lumiose even closer together. But she'd have to get through Akari first. Not that that would be hard or anything. I was not exactly at the top of my game here. We're not gonna go down that easy thanks to the power of milk. Okay, the power of milk did not seem to help. Okay, now we get Mega Electros. I know that Ephraim has been hyping it up in the comments, and I mean, I think it's only been like 2 comments, but still, I want to see if it lives up to those expectations. Ooh, it's got like 2 thingies on the side. Does it get like the ghost type? They look kind of ghosty. That's kind of cool. I think I want one. Oh. I was kind of worried about nothing. Never mind. But Mega Electros is dope. Akari had achieved rank E, and I learned that I actually have a lot in common with Kanari. Oh, Kanari, I hate to see you like this. This only happened because you lost first. You're absolutely right. Tell you what, as an apology, I'll buy you anything you want. Deal? Really? Okay, I forgive you. She's just a spoiled kid. But she had fun with our promotion match, and she seems to be coming back around on Pokemon battling. Kanari even gives us an autographed plush for Naveen. Another new rank, another celebratory dinner with Team MZ. And surprisingly, Naveen wasn't being entirely cringe. I can't believe Kanari made you do all that just for a promotion match. Kind of a pain, huh? Please don't call Kanari a pain, Lita. It seems you don't fully comprehend how hard it is to be famous. Do show some empathy. Yeah, we get it. You're on the streamer girl side. I'm on Kanari's side, yes, she has a name. Wants to become a famous dancer, I'm sure you'll come to understand. Hold up, are you being supportive? So tell me, what was Kanari like off stream? Pretty nice. I'm gonna leave out the part where she used gamer words. You gave Naveen the autographed plush. Thank you, I'll treasure this always. Oh my gosh, and now a sincere thanks? Seriously, who are you and what have you done with Naveen? Let's just eat already. Even the scent of your croissant curry is pleasing tonight, Urbane. You finally come around on it, huh? Wanna try a bite? Absolutely not. And then another day, another call from Vinny, another strategy meeting. There were 3 more rogue megas to deal with, a Beedrill, a Hawlucha, and a Banette. But Urbane asked an important question. Why pacify the rogue mega Beedrill when it can be used as an advertisement for Hotel Z? And Akari was all on board. Thinking about it, I could probably design some special merch with rogue mega Beedrill as the motif. Ooh, good call, we can even fill up a whole room with Beedrill stuff. Wow, I'm loving all these ideas. Akari passed it off as if she were just joking, but she was sad that she would not be getting the Rogue Mega Beedrill merch. The Beedrill itself wasn't too hard to deal with, even with its Kakuna bodyguards. Has Kakuna bodyguards? But the Hawlucha intel was apparently slightly off, and the wrestling bird was nowhere to be found. But as it turns out, the Hawlucha was only like 2 rooftops over, and it also went down pretty easily. The Banette managed to sneak up on Naveen, and the actual fight itself was quite interesting. It could make copies of itself, which is a much cooler mechanic than Kakuna bodyguards. It still wasn't too hard to find the real one, I just kept targeting the one without a tiny health bar above it, and Mega Greg got his redemption arc. And then it was lore time. So you continue to successfully save Pokemon from the pain of rogue Mega Evolution. After all, only with Mega Pokemon or Plus moves can you hope to stand up to a rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon entirely. However, Zygarde cannot Mega Evolve. I doubt that detective would be hunting me and Zygarde if she knew its intentions. I wonder why she finds me so suspicious. And I kinda misinterpreted this. I thought it meant that Emma was looking for L because L was the person that Urbane was looking for, like his long-lost father or something, but I think she's just interested in him because of Zygarde, or Team Flare, or maybe even both. That man has quite a commanding presence. Why is he dressed in those rags, I wonder? And then Akari gets her next promotion match announcement. She'll be facing Ivor of the Fist of Justice. At the Justice Dojo, Akari has a rematch with Josie, and history repeated itself. I would scream this, but it's like almost midnight and everyone's asleep, so... Wait, don't tell me you're here to join the Fist of Justice, aren't you? Where's the yes option? Unfortunately, Ivor does not have his own Rotom phone, because he keeps breaking them. His sister Gwen handles the ZA Royale app for him, but she's gone missing and Ivor will stop at nothing to find her. And thus begins what is simultaneously my favorite and least favorite mission in the whole game. I love that we get to go on a case with Emma, and Ivor's pretty great too, but it also kind of sucks because it goes on forever. But this detective says she cannot help me. No, what I said was I can't help you without more to go on than she's missing. So here's the super abridged version. We go to City Hall, where an NPC directs us to Nouveau Cafe. At Nouveau Cafe, we're told that Gwen hangs out with Kanari. So back to Racine Construction, where Kanari's out for revenge. And it did not go well. Defeating her for a second time, Kanari tells us that G-Volt just wanted a place all to her own, and she's going on about needing to beat a Pokemon whose type her partner is weak to. Last I heard, she was headed to some fountain depicting a Pokemon like that, so she could at least imagine how she'd beat it in her head. A fountain! Now we're getting somewhere. Great, so we should look for our Clowitzer, yes, I'm on it. He's gonna go find an actual Clawitzer, isn't he? I see only a fountain here. There's no sign of Gwyn anywhere. So you don't have any idea where Gwyn might be in this area then? But this might be the right place. There's the Clawitzer fountain, just like Kanari told us. Well, Akari, do you think we'll find Gwyn somewhere around here? Why are you asking me? You're the detective. We need to go down into the sewers, but first, we need to deal with the water. And I think that Emma slightly overestimated Akari's abilities here. I would drink all the water. Drink it? All of it? No, I wouldn't suggest that. Don't you even think about it, Ivor. So we use Ice Beam to freeze the fountain, which drains the water. And then we take our first steps into the Lumiose sewers. It's one of my favorite places in the whole game, but it does feel a little bit lacking. Only a few quests actually bring you down here, and there's not much else aside from a few wild Pokemon and some items. Progress is halted by a large iron door. Ivor suggests smashing through it, which Akari is all for, but Captain No Fun over here is worried about public property or something. So Akari has to inspect the lock. Oh, it's one of these things. Hang on, I think I got this. Do you need help, Akari? Back off, meat sack, I know what I'm doing. Suddenly, Klefki. Akari catches the Klefki, but it doesn't have the key, so I don't know what the point was. But don't worry, Ivor has a plan. Justice Punch! Oh, he did it! I thought he was gonna like break his hand. With that, our way is clear. Let's press on. God, I love this game so much. It's just so goofy. Our group of questionably competent detectives catch a glimpse of a chandelure, and it lures them into a dead end. After searching the room and coming up empty, Ivor has a plan. Gonna punch the wall down. Strength is power. Strength is justice. Justice Punch! The wall was illusionary, and they're able to pass right through it and go deeper into the sewers, eventually reaching Gwyn. And it turns out that Gwyn is actually Chandelure Girl from the Kanari Quiz Wiz contest. But, for some reason, she's decided to hide herself away down in the sewers. The truth? If you really wish to hear it, then defeat me in battle. I'm a Pokemon trainer too, after all. Akari easily sends her first two Pokemon back to their graves. And Gwyn finally sends out her Chandelure for the big reveal. Chandelure Mega Evolve, finish them. Is this gonna become like a bigger Chandelier? Oh, yeah, it does. That's awesome. It's literally just a chandelier. And then Akari smashed the chandelier. Gwyn reveals that she's the one having to deal with all of the complaints about Ivor's behavior. Primarily his inability to stop grinding the ZA Royale even after the sun has risen. So she hid herself away so he couldn't participate in any more promotion matches. At least until now, when he'll face off against Akari. And little did I know that I was about to bear witness to sheer and utter perfection. So I thought he was gonna break out a Mega Machamp. So the big question now is, what is his Mega? Oh my gosh, there's a Mega Phalanx. There's a Mega Phalanx! Dude, I love Phalanx! There's a Mega one? Please tell me it's just more Phalanx. It just gets longer. Holy shit, that's amazing! I must get a Mega Phalanx. That's amazing. I need a Mega Phalanx. Akari had achieved rank D. At the celebratory dinner, Team MZ had a wholesome conversation. But that was interrupted when Urbane received a mysterious message. Nah, it's nothing. But I should be asking you what's the matter, Naveen. Why won't you just try the croissant curry already? That won't be happening. While I admit it might taste good, the aesthetics are still too much for me. That's not as hard of a pass as you gave it before, Naveen. While Akari was out and about in Lumiose City, she happened across a rather interesting location, the Lumiose Museum. She had spent most of her time in the city helping Team MZ with their whole saving the day thingy, so now it was time to do a little bit of tourism. Akari took her time viewing all of the artwork, from this guy with the Mew to this weird looking Carbink, and even this rather nice statue of a Mega Lucario. But then she made her way to the second floor. The first thing she saw was the suit of armor, Kamado's armor, the same armor he had worn during the events at the Temple of Sinnoh. And as Akari got closer, she realized that it wasn't the only piece of her past here. The entire exhibit had been dedicated to the Hisui region. Off to the side, there were the statues of Dialga and Palkia, almost seemingly ripped straight out of the ruins of Celestica. And next to those was a display case, holding an all too familiar outfit. Even several years later, the events of that day were still fresh in her mind. Volo's betrayal, their battle at Spear Pillar, standing against Giratina. But the part that she remembered the most was their last conversation. Answer me then, Akari. Do you have some dream that propels you forward, as I've had? And she responded honestly, she didn't know. You don't even know. To think that I could so ruthlessly pursue my own goal, only to be struck down by someone without one of their own. I am the great wielder of Pokémon, and you battle alongside your Pokémon. And in the end, I was alone. But not you. You will fight together with your Pokémon to seize whatever dreams you may have. Akari realized that it had been over 3 years since that moment, at least to her, and nothing had changed. She still found that she had no real dreams of her own. Even now, back in her own time, she was still without goals, without direction, and so she aimlessly wandered around the exhibit, seeing all that remains of the friends and family she once held dear. But then there was the other display case. Within it were 2 old Survey Corps uniforms. Akari had overheard some guests saying that some of the artifacts were just modern replicas, and while she couldn't say for certain for the male uniform, she recognized every small imperfection on the female uniform. That uniform was certainly no replica. But what stood out the most, her Survey Corps badge was missing. It had likely been lost in the past 150 years, and without it, the uniform felt incomplete, and so did Akari. The reality was finally sinking in. Her home was long gone, and her friends long dead. She had never gotten the chance to thank them, never gotten the chance to say goodbye. She wasn't the greatest hero ever, nor was she ever meant to be. She was just the dreamless girl left to wander in a world that had never wanted her in the first place. And it seems that Zygarde had made a mistake in choosing her. She made a quick stop at a cafe for some junk food to help lift her spirits before heading back to Hotel Z for the night. The following morning, Lita seemed pretty upset at Urbane. And for good reason. That idiot! Apparently he borrowed some money to shoot a Hotel Z promo spot, so we're in debt now to this scary group called the Rust Syndicate. Team MZ is in debt to the Mafia.
This is Akari, right? The kid who lives and helps out at Hotel Z.
Nope.
Please, no need to play dumb. Let's not waste each other's time. Now, I'm calling as a representative of the Rust Syndicate, and I want to discuss a bit of money your friend Urbane borrowed from us.
What? So it wasn't just me they called? They even tracked down your number, Akari? Oh, yeah, that's, I don't know how they could have possibly done that. Apparently, the Rust Syndicate are loan sharks. They charge people exorbitant interest and then use that as leverage to get them to do their dirty work. So with no other options, it was off to meet with the Rust Syndicate.
Ooh, here to talk, huh? Well, I'm on guard duty here. I'm too busy keeping an eye on things to listen to your problems. Maybe if I crush you in a Pokemon battle, you'll run off and stop bothering us. I don't know what voice I'm doing, it kinda hurts my throat.
Whatever his voice was, this guard self-destructed in battle. Literally. Enter Mr. Felipe. He's a bit disappointed that Lita and Akari defeated his guards, even though they were the ones to pick a fight, so naturally, he decides to pick another fight. His team is a bit tougher, but still go down pretty easily. But Felipe also packs a new Mega. Skarmory. Is that gonna be a Mega Skarmory? It is gonna be a Mega Skarmory. I wonder if his design kind of replicates what it's gonna be. Oh, it becomes gold and has giant feet. I kind of like that. I mean, its body still looks very much the exact same, but Mega Skarmory was not expecting that. But still, I kind of dig it. Looks kind of edgy, and it's a nice solid gold. So is its shiny form gonna be like silver or something? I actually spent quite a while hunting for a shiny Skarmory just to test this. All right, shiny Mega Skarmory. Oh, it does keep its old colors. It's not gold anymore. You know what? That's fine. I actually don't mind it. I like gold Skarmory better, but shiny Mega Skarmory is still fine to me. Corbeau is the head of the Rust Syndicate. He says he never wanted the title, but Felipe, the former boss, surrendered the seat to him. Turns out that Urbane had been helping people in the city, including a member of the Rust Syndicate. And as thanks, Felipe returned the favor by funding one of Urbane's Hotel Z promotion videos. They gave him 100,000 Pokemon dollars. And yes, that is the canonical name for the currency in English. We can leave the matter of the 100,000 that Urbane borrowed between him and us. That way, you two only have to deal with all the interest here, crew. I just want you to take care of some little jobs here and there for us. Yes! I want to work for the criminal organization. Let's go! Akari was a huge fan of the Mafia shows on TV, so her priorities might have been a little bit misplaced. I am in 100%, let's go rob a bank. There really wasn't much that could be done until the Syndicate reached out, so Team MZ held another strategy meeting. But that also got nowhere until Urbane finally returned. Lita fussed at him, and Urbane learned the value of reading the fine print. Yeah! Oh man, there's some really fine print about interest. You'd have to zoom in to even find it. But then Vinny called about some more rogue mega Pokemon. 3 more targets. A Mawile, a Barbaracle, and an Ampharos. I chose to take on Barbaracle first because I didn't know it got a Mega and I was really curious what it looked like. But you know the old saying, curiosity killed the Akari. Oh, that's horrifying. Oh my god. That is imposing. It's like the king of the Binnacle. The Binnacle Overlord. Alright, get him, boys! The battle started off pretty well, but right there at the end, I guess I let my guard down and took a laser beam to the face. And this was my first blackout in the entire game, and it wouldn't be the last, although most of them did come from this stupid Barbaracle fight. The second attempt went worse, and I got to channel my inner Canary. Train up your Pokemon and try again. Yeah, f off, dude. Battle 3 ended in a blaze of fists. Battle 4, though, I am definitely calling BS here. I mean, just look at that. There are 3 zip codes between me and that beam. But finally, the 5th attempt yielded some more positive results. Oh my gosh, that is the most annoying thing. Just hit him. Thank you, jeez. Suddenly, dog. After the fight, we were met by L. If Mega Power continues to overflow and saturate this city, do you not fear that every Pokemon in Lumiose may succumb to rogue Mega Evolution? I mean, not every Pokemon can Mega Evolve, so I think we'd be at least somewhat okay, but if not, then I will just Justice Punch them in the face. I would expect nothing less from one of those whom Zygarde sees potential in. That is this disaster of Mega Power spilling forth over Lumiose. I have reason to believe it began at much the same time as the renovation work on Prism Tower. This suggests that Quasartico Incorporated has some connection to what is happening. No way! Perhaps Zygarde wishes me to investigate that connection. I believe that Zygarde is wielding me as an instrument for the betterment of Lumiose. It intrigues me. It bothers me none. After all, my wish has always been to make a more beautiful city and a more beautiful world. For that, I am counting on your help. Until we meet again. It's weird how Prism Tower keeps coming up in all this, huh? AZ was worried about it too, wasn't he? She has no comment on the creepy guy, does it? Up next, Ampharos. Unfortunately, Naveen broke the elevator. But fortunately, Gwen was creepily watching from nearby. Your problem may have a solution. If you beat me in battle. Is this girl actually ignoring me? You've got to battle her, not just to find out what she knows, but to find out what her problem is. She wanted revenge for Kanari, so she challenged Akari to a battle. Akari responded by smashing her chandelier once again. Let me guess, we just need to turn it off and turn it back on again. It's cursed. Well, can you uncurse it? Go ahead, chandelier. This little phantom did not get the memo that this wasn't free real estate, so we had the honor of evicting him. I'll win the next Quiz Whiz contest. My love for Kanari is much greater than yours. Well, that explains her problem with me, but if she thinks she can out-quiz me, she's wrong. Oh, we have to go the long way. Did I hear a shiny sparkle? I thought I might have just heard a shiny sparkle. Editing Doof enhance. Taking down the rogue Mega Ampharos went a whole lot smoother than the Barbarical. So much more smooth than Barbarical. Ampharos was just dead. Last stop, Mawile. The fight itself wasn't too hard, but Mawile still had some surprises up its sleeve. That's cheating, bro. Alright, I'm calling back that so I save my Mega Charge. It's got artillery! But with Mawile put to rest, Urbane had a heart-to-heart with Akari. I came here to Lumiose looking for someone, but as I got to know this place, I really came to love the city and its people and Pokémon. Urbane seemed to have found his place here in Lumiose City, and Akari only wished that she could say the same. But Lita was significantly less impressed with Urbane. So he's got time to help everyone else, but not the friends who have to clean up his mess. A call from Corbeau came through, and it was time for Akari's first syndicate job. Yes! Finally! That's not how that's written, but that was Akari's reaction. And it was a simple job. Just deal with some troublemakers that were refusing to leave an apartment building. But Akari might have gotten a bit too excited. Are we gonna mail their severed fingers to their families? Give them cement shoes and send them to sleep with a Staryu? What the hell is wrong with you? But it turns out these troublemakers were just some Gengar and a Ghastly, so while she couldn't cut off their fingers, she was still able to seal one away in a Pokeball, saving her one trait evolution. But Corbeau himself arrived on the scene to check her progress, and it seemed like he was actually quite concerned about the current state of Lumiose and its people. You must know there are a lot of wild Pokemon coming to Lumiose these days, right? Exotico Holotech does a pretty good job of keeping them in set areas and out of trouble. But some make their way into the city and cause problems for people and other Pokemon. This trend has forced some Pokemon out of their usual habitats and into our living spaces. Yeah? Looks like you didn't take care of every last troublemaker, did you? That's sloppy work. Fine, you hold it down, I'll steal its kidneys. What the hell is wrong with you? Akari's next job was to go down into a sewer and remove all of the Mega Crystals that were inconveniencing the local Pokemon. Afterward, Corbeau showed up again and revealed quite a bit of interesting information. I know a guy showed up after you calmed one of those rogue Pokemon recently. Well, that gentleman's name is Lysander. He is, or was, a wealthy and generous businessman. He helped me out when I was a kid, provided me with support since I had no family to rely on. I don't know why he did what he did 5 years ago, or what he's been up to since. Okay, so it's confirmed to have been 5 years from X and Y. But if he's alive, that means I can repay him for everything he's done for me. Oh, but look at me talking to myself. You better not breathe the wood of this to anyone, understand? Otherwise, that interest, it might become a lot more of an issue for you. Akari's third job was to deal with some trespassers on Syndicate turf. Unfortunately, it was just 2 members of the Society of Battle Connoisseurs that were bullying some children. Akari was disappointed that there wasn't going to be a massive turf war, so she crushed them without a second thought. She was going to stuff them into a barrel and then roll them into the canal, but Corbeau stepped in. People are on edge as it is these days with all the wild Pokémon showing up in town. Hardly seems like a good time to be going around troubling our city's children, now does it? You know, if you want an actual turf war, I know where to buy black market firearms. What the hell? But before he could finish his rebuke, some ruckus could be overheard. Oh, what's happening now? You're coming with me to find out. A group of citizens had confronted Jet and Urbane regarding the recent happenings in Lumiose. This group is the Lumiose Safety Group, and they were blaming Quasartico for all of the Pokemon coming to the city. They're played off as villains, at least in Corbeau's eyes, which I find very interesting, because while sure they might be slightly off in asserting that Quasartico is at fault for everything, it's not like Quasartico is exactly all that innocent either. They're actively withholding very important information from the public. Information that will ultimately lead to a crisis that puts thousands of lives at risk, and they're never really held responsible for that. But we just battled this guy in a rare 2v1 where we're not the outnumbered one, and that was enough to force the group into a retreat. Also, Corbeau dips. Jet thanks Akari for all of her help in protecting Lumiose, and it's back to Hotel Z. But she's only there for a few minutes before Corbeau summons her to his office. He's quite impressed with Akari's battling skills, and right on cue, the ZA Royale app deans. Corbeau is to be her opponent in the next promotion match. People, Pokemon, we all get covered in the grime of the world as we go through our life. This city needs people willing to get their hands dirty cleaning up all that mess. As a kid, I had no home, nowhere to go, until Lumiose gave me a place where I could truly belong. I aim to protect the city in any way that I can. And for that, I need more influence. I need to reach rank A. And so Akari's match against the leader of the Rust Syndicate begins. Corbeau's Arbok goes down without any issues, but his Gyarados is a slippery son of a biscuit. It bounces all over the place to avoid attacks and takes down a couple of my own Pokemon. Oh my god, I hate that so much. Just fucking hit the target for sakes. It was so frustrating at times that I would later go on to model my own Gyarados after his. Alright, so now we're going for the Mega Scolipede, I assume. That was a dramatic Mega Evolution animation. Oh, holy shit, that's dope. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Gyarados was crazy though. But Corbeau falls and Akari reaches rank C. Though I don't think I'm quite done with you yet. I'll see you at Hotel Z. Team MZ's celebratory dinner is interrupted by a guest? But it turns out that it's Corbeau. We just need a little more time. We'll pay back Urbane's whole debt tomorrow. Now, what's got you all on edge? Think about it. What do people come to hotels for? To book a room, correct? Or what? Is Hotel Z too fancy for the likes of me? It's very tense in the hotel, but things seem to work out. The next morning, Corbeau checks out and even gives Urbane a rather generous tip. It's enough to cover his debt, so maybe Corbeau's not such a bad guy after all. AZ gives both Lita and Naveen Mega Rings, so it's time to test them out. But Lita still hasn't evolved her Staryu, so no new Megas until Naveen sends out his Scrafty. Oh, it gets like a hoodie. You know what? That's fine. I like that. Team MZ goes out to Nouveau Cafe for lunch, where they meet with Laban, representing the Society of Battle Connoisseurs. She invites Urbane and Akari to a special party held at Hotel Richissimi. I do hope that you will join us. Who knows what might happen otherwise. And since it's a fancy hotel, Lita wants us to dress up in some fancy clothes so that we can schmooze up all the rich people and advertise Hotel Z. Besides, don't you want a cute dress to show off to Urbane? Shut up, Lita! But the fancy outfit lady wouldn't give us any fancy outfits until we battled her Florges with a Mega Pokemon. So angry Agatha the Mega Aggron nuked Florges and its entire future bloodline from orbit. Sadly, Akari did not get a cute dress. Instead, she got, well, whatever this is. Laban escorts us up to the party room, and Urbane ditches his date, or teammate. Then the host herself makes her debut. Bienvenue. Hello to one and all. I am sorry, I don't know French. Just the other day, we were joined by Galar's former champion, Leon, who delivered a very fine lecture at our invitation. So this does take place after Sword and Shield, but 5 years after X and Y. So Sword and Shield happened at less than 5 years after X and Y. Okay, the timeline is coming together. Jacinth has invited all of the prominent trainers from the ZA Royale for one big tournament. Oops, that's my phone, my bad. Of course, there's 3 more rogue megas to deal with. Urbane and Akari have to bail, which doesn't sit too well with Laban. I kindly urge you to reconsider your actions. You still have time, you must return to the venue. I say this out of concern for your own well-being. Nah, it's okay, just put us down as disqualified. We gotta go help protect the city. No, wait! Oh, come on! Akari changes out of her party attire, and it's back to Hotel Z for another strategy meeting. The targets this time are Frostlass, Altaria, and Venusaur. Also, Team MZ has been infiltrated. Now that you mention it, does this strategy meeting feel weirdly crowded to anyone else? Are you alright, Lita? It sounds like you're imagining things. Yeah, or maybe not. Jacinth is still pretty dead set on having Akari and Urbane attend her tournament, but Urbane keeps shooting her down. Good thing she's not a psychopath. But know this, I do not take kindly to those who make light of my tournaments. She gonna kill us? I went to the Frostlass first so I could see the new Mega. Holy crap! It got tall. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite new Megas, like top 5 easily. It kind of reminded me of a Gigantamax form when I first saw it, and since then I have heard rumors that apparently Frostlass was supposed to get a Gigantamax form, so maybe they just repurposed its design here. Either way, it's pretty awesome. Doof seal of approval. But Frostlass goes down, and we meet the scary purple lady again. Oh lords, was that a mega evolved Frostlass? You see, I completely understand the importance of protecting the city and its residents. But my tournament is of equal, if not greater importance. And next was Venusaur. I feel kinda bad for everyone who picked Venusaur from the research lab. Like, both Blastoise and Charizard's Megastone are available right there from the Stone Emporium, but you have to get almost entirely through the main story before you can get the Venusaurite, and that kinda sucks for Venusaur fans. But you know the story, Rogue Mega goes down, Crazy Pink Girl shows up. I do hope the two of you come to Hotel Rich Thingy as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll have no choice but to keep haunting you for all eternity. Adieu! Finally, Altaria. We're gonna do our best. Me, Staryu, and the whole gang. You still have a Staryu? But the Staryu didn't matter. We still deleted the Altaria without any problems. It's bootleg Cortana again. To think something so fluffy and adorable could be capable of such rage! I urge you to come and join the festivities as soon as you can. Otherwise, well, I can always buy out Hotel Z to encourage your participation. Adieu. I just love that look on her face. That's me like 3 hours into my 8-hour shift right there. After all of Jacinth's nagging, it's finally time to return to Hotel Richissimi. Oh wait, no, never mind. We are in Purple Jail. Must you, Jacinth? No matter how long I wait, no matter how many times I ask politely, the two of you still refuse to do what is right. Participate in my wonderful tournament. She'll only deactivate the zone once Team MZ has battled her subordinates. And by Team MZ, they of course meant Akari. Just Akari. Seriously, does nobody else do anything around here? The first 2 trainers are nothing to write home about. Get donked on. But then we're left with Laban, who lets her true self slip through. Looks like I finally get to cut loose in a real battle for once. Bring it on. Did you drop your personality? Shut it, punk. I'll deal with you next. this poses a very unfortunate problem, because I was not prepared for a Garchomp. For Garchomp was wrecking us so hard that I actually had to keep healing, otherwise I would lose. And of course, this was the one battle that I didn't have my own Garchomp with me, so we just had to poison it and let the clock run out. A bit anticlimactic, but hey, a W is a W. Mega Dragalge? Is that what we're looking at? Dragalge? Mega Dragalge. Oh, that's sick. Okay. Perfect. Laban apparently used to be more of a fighter back in the day, but she was beaten by Jacinthe and became her maid? Servant? Secretary? Whatever it is that she is now. But Laban deactivates the Jacinthe zone. And it's time for Akari's next promotion match, which, unsurprisingly, is Jacinthe. But getting to that promotion match would not be easy. Jacinthe had set up a tournament bracket with herself at the very end, meaning that Akari had quite a few rematches she had to get through. She started by taking Kanari down for the third time in as many days. And Ivor explains that an event between him and Laban when they were younger is the reason that he seeks to become stronger. But he cuts himself off, and this story is never further elaborated upon. But it was nice to see his Mega Phalanx again. The final match is against Corbo and his Mega Solicipede. Jeez. That was just two behemoths slugging it out. But finally, Akari made it to her match with Jacinthe, and there was nothing, and I mean literally nothing, that would get in her way this time. Suddenly, dog. And there's the dog walker. And it seems like L's true identity isn't that much of a secret. The rest of the participants seem to know exactly who he was. But that was of little matter to Lysander. He had lost his memories and was now dedicated to helping Zygarde complete its mission. I am only here to say that I wish for Zygarde and Akari to battle. Why, yes, of course, by all means. Laban, would you handle this? Oh. They added Zygarde to the layout. Oh no! We're not facing off against Zygarde, dog. We're facing off against Zygarde. I think we can handle this. ZA! There it is! The name of the game! That's what ZA stands for. Wait, why am I leading with Snert? Akari still had no idea as to why Zygarde had chosen her. She would give the legendary Pokemon the battle that it wanted, but her heart was still set on rejecting the role of hero. Urbane was around here somewhere, and she was hoping to point Zygarde to him. You know, I'm gonna be honest, that was a little bit anticlimactic. He went down to a burn. Am I about to catch a Zygarde? Well, that answers that question. As best I could tell, Zygarde seems pleased. Now that you've seen Zygarde in its 50% form, but not yet in its ultimate form, Zygarde complete, I will collect the remaining Zygarde cells as Zygarde has commanded me. You must focus on becoming a Pokemon trainer mighty enough to fight at Zygarde's side. Apparently, L has not gotten the memo that Akari is not on board with this. Okay, now it's time for the battle against Jacinthe. And she has a great battle theme. She also has an amazing Mega. Holy crap, what is that? But now, Akari had reached rank B. The end was in sight. Now then, let's give another heartfelt round of applause to Akari. There is not that many people there to be given an applause like that. At the celebratory dinner, an unspeakable event occurred. Naveen finally seemed to cave on the croissant curry. Finally coming around to appreciate the delights of croissant curry, Naveen? No, but it'd be rude of me to refrain from eating when we're celebrating. Its delights are, and will, remain lost on me. Anj. You were meant to be a guardian of the city, towering over her, watching her always. A 3,000-year-old desire, once foolishly held. A 3,000-year-old mistake, so very foolishly made. It even cost me you, my beloved Floette, and now these bright young lives must pay my remaining debts, or Lumiose's future will be forever lost. AZ had a lot on his mind the following morning. Prism Tower. The unease spilling from it can now be felt even at this distance. Then we gotta do something about it. Not yet. The only one who can control the tower is Mega Floette. We will need the strongest Mega Evolution user if we're to put this situation to rights. Wait, Mega Floette? Wow. I guess I gotta make it to the top rank of the ZA Royale and prove I'm the strongest then. Then Vinny called, and this time it wasn't about Rogue Megas. Instead, he was setting up a meeting at Quasartico HQ. This time, we would be meeting with Jet directly, and she had a lot to say about Quasartico's involvement with the ongoing problems in Lumiose. The Wild Zones, while marketed as a way for people and Pokemon to live in harmony, were actually intended to contain rogue Mega Pokemon and limit the damage they could cause to the city. After the Ultimate Weapon crisis of 5 years ago, many people left Lumiose, and the city fell into a decline. So the urban redevelopment plan was born as a way to revitalize the city. But local businesses were unwilling to take on the project, so it landed on the shoulders of Quasartico. And while assessing Prism Tower, they discovered that it was emitting a mysterious energy, Mega Power. This Mega Power was then detected all over Lumiose City, and is believed to be responsible for both the rogue Mega Evolution and the influx of wild Pokemon coming to the city. The concern now is that, if the rogue Mega Evolution issue worsens, people will leave the city once more, and this time it won't be able to recover. And despite Quasartico presumably having a massive stockpile of financial resources, most of this crisis would be left to Team MZ, a group of misfit teenagers that lived in a rundown hotel. One last question before you go, Urbane. If you don't mind me asking, that jacket of yours, where did you obtain it? This? It used to be my mom's, something to remember her by. I see. Forgive me, I just thought it looked familiar somehow. I get the feeling that Jet might actually be like Urbane's grandmother or something. Like maybe she gave that jacket to. Wait a minute! No shot this works first try on a Dusk Ball. Yo, Alpha Mega Salamence is gonna go crazy. Dude, Alpha Mega Salamence is gonna be. What have they done to the tower? Anyway, the final rogue megas would be Dragonite, Tyranitar, and Starmie. The first target was obviously Mega Dragonite, solely because I wanted to know what its Mega Stone was called. I knew it would not be the Dragonite, but I could still hope. Get ready for ouch time. Oh, that thing is massive. The battle was going pretty well there for a while, but things went south very quickly. Oh, dude just nuked her, but oh shit. Dude just nuked me. This was also my first taste of the Dragonite Airstrike, which is now one of my favorite tactics in online battles. But the Mega Stone is the Dragonite, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce. The Dragonite. Oh, the Dragon... The Dragonite. The Dragonite? The Dragonite. Dragonite. I don't like... Dragonite sounds so much better. And Starmie would be target number 2. The Rust Syndicate was standing guard, protecting civilians from the wild Starmie. But fortunately, they knew us well. It's Akari, ain't it? And the other one. Mr. Felipe would not let us pass without a battle, and I don't know why. He literally just saw us body a legendary Pokemon like 5 minutes ago, but after being on the wrong end of a Alpha Mega Salamence, Felipe gave a Waterstone to Lita, prompting her to finally evolve her Staryu. And we finally made it to Starmie. Oh my gosh. That's an interesting design. It's Starmie, but with legs. The battle was over very quickly. Hamamatsu, the Mega Electros using the Charge and Zap Cannon combo, proved to be quite lethal. And at long last, Tyranitar would be the final rogue Mega Pokemon. And this is where Gary the Phalanx would make its debut. And Mega Gary would make quick work of the Titan Tyranitar. Alright, jeez. That was a bit annoying. Back at the hotel, Urbane was curious how Floette would choose the strongest Mega Evolution user. He seemed pretty determined that he would be the one, but everyone else seemed to disagree. Well, that must be Akari. Says who? But before the topic could be discussed further, the ZA Royale app pinged. Akari's next and final promotion match would be against someone named Grisham. But Grisham's identity was obscured and we had no way of finding him. But fortunately, we know a detective. It's so weird. Cause like Prism Tower is like the symbol of Lumiose City, and to have it covered up and hidden, it's just like, it's a sign that things are going horribly, horribly wrong, isn't it? The skyline will never be the same. Emma was indeed familiar with this mysterious Grissom, but she seemed to think that this information could potentially put us in danger, so Akari had to prove her ability in a battle against Emma, and naturally, Akari lost. But in the second attempt, Emma was pushed back to my friend Mega Malamar, so Akari responded with the overwhelming brute force of a Mega Garchomp. So Emma spilled the beans on Grissom. She knew quite a bit about Team Flare from someone in her past, so she knew that our soon-to-be opponent had been a former member of the team and pointed us to Mabel for more information. Are you making progress on my research tasks? Tell me about Grissom. Oh, that eye shift, she knows. It is here that Mabel revealed that she was, shocker, a member of Team Flare. The team had collapsed and everyone was taken into custody. Mabel took a plea deal that landed her the position of acting director of the Pokemon Research Lab. Grissom had been a part of a Team Flare's secret project where they sought to preserve their ideas by raising a new generation. He was also quite a skilled battler, but never got the chance to put his skills to the test before Team Flare collapsed. So Mabel directed us to the Nouveau Cafe food truck, the very same one where Akari and Urbane had gone on their date, or field trip thingy. You'd like to order something? Please speak to the young lady over there. I'd like to order a meeting with Grissom. Well, isn't this entertaining? It looks like you've managed to find your next opponent. The truth is, I am one of the top-ranked trainers in the ZA Royale, the foremost trainer in Rank B, and the boss of Team Flare Novu. New Team Flare. But before he could explain, Grizel the waitress cuts in. She knows that we're working for AZ, and that does not make her happy. Let's just take this kid down now, right here, right now, while we've got the chance. Grizel, please do calm yourself. Nouveau Cafe is here to offer comfort to the masses. It is no place to start a commotion. Fine, I sent you a location. If you care all about knowing the truth, go there and wait. And that location was the former Lysander Cafe. You do know about Team Flare, don't you? Not really. I only played X and Y once, and that was like years and years and years ago. Grizel is extremely hostile towards Akari, and eventually forces her into a Pokemon battle. She also has a new Mega, but Mega Pyroar is probably one of my least favorite new Megas in this game. Like, I don't hate it or anything, but it just feels kind of you know. My fire pig with a staff is gonna roll right over your dog lion thing. I mean, it kind of looks the same, just with a bigger haircut. Inside of the cafe, we get to hear Grism's perspective on Team Flare, that they were originally genuinely trying to help people and make the world a better and more beautiful place. But over time, Lysander had become so disillusioned and concerned for the future that he decided to reduce the number of people in the world, which is the PG way of saying commit mass murder. In the end, Lysander made a truly foolish choice. He chose to use the ultimate weapon. That weapon was AZ's creation. You may only see AZ as the kindly figure who has provided you with a place to call home. But if he had never built something so horrifying as that ultimate weapon, then Lysander would have never been driven to such madness, and we in Team Flare wouldn't have become society's outcasts. That is why I invite you, Akari, to witness the truth yourself. Open sesame! You must see the truth yourself with your own eyes, if you are to fully understand how awful it is. Even though it's only been 5 years, the labs are in complete ruin. Kinda feels like I stepped into a Fallout game. I know we're in an area that was, you know, in the past and all that, but there is no way that 5 years ago they were using this type of computer. I mean, they have holotech, for crying out loud. That's like, this thing's like 40 years old, 30 or 40 years old. Wild Pokemon have taken over the facility, and we have to navigate around, finding keycards and restoring power to progress deeper. Eventually, we find our way down to floor 2, the room where AZ was kept prisoner. There's nothing here aside from an EXP candy L, a possible reference to L. It's empty and quiet and kind of haunting in a way, especially knowing all of the events of the past. Upon reaching the bottom floor, a computer system reboots and prompts us with 4 files to access. These files detail the ultimate weapon beneath Geosinge Town, how that device grants life by stealing it from other living beings, the legendary Pokemon Xerneas and Yveltal, and Team Flare's motivation behind their goals. Then Zygarde and L make their presence known. Have you learned the secret of the ultimate weapon? How truly abominable it was. AZ created that weapon, and then 1,000 years later, he also made a device that now dwells within Prism Tower. I set my mind on activating both the ultimate weapon and that device. But to activate the device required a certain Pokemon, one particular Floette. And there was no way to know where that Floette could be found. That led me to abandon my plans for the tower's device. But the ultimate weapon could still be activating using the key AZ carried, and so I did. So he fired the ultimate weapon alone, burying himself inside of Team Flare's secret base, where he would eventually be saved by Zygarde. But at the weapon's activation, the device in Prism Tower awakened as well, sensing danger. Now it has become a threat to Lumiose. It could fully lose control at any time. To stop the device and to protect this city, Zygarde must regain its true power. Sooner or later, the tower will enter a frenzied state similar to Rogue Mega Evolution. Do we have to fight the tower? The only one who can bring it back under control is AZ's Floette. Yes, we need the Eternal Flower, and a trainer who can draw forth her full power. That is the truth I know. And now you have learned all that those young people waiting in Lysander Cafe wanted you to learn. Go and speak with Grism and with AZ. Then do what must be done. And so Akari returned to the cafe to face Grism and Grizel. I must become the strongest Pokemon trainer by battling my way up through the ZA Royale. I must become the strongest Mega Evolution user. Then, I will be the one to restrain Prism Tower with AZ's Floette. Go talk with the rest of MZ and decide what it is you really ought to do. It is time they all learned of AZ's sins. Upon Akari's return to the hotel, AZ decided that it was finally time to reveal his sins to the members of Team MZ. He explained how he lost Floette in the war 3,000 years ago, and how he built a device to bring her back to life. But even then, he was still enraged, and he turned this device into the ultimate weapon and laid waste to the world. But Floette must have known the truth. She must have realized that the life I had given her was stolen from so many other Pokémon. She left me, and I wandered alone for 3,000 years. 2,000 years ago, AZ was approached by a man of great power who was seeking a way to protect Kalos. And so he constructed Ange, a tower designed to share the eternal life that he had bestowed on Floette. But without Floette, the tower remained dormant for thousands of years, and the modern Prism Tower had been built over top of it. But after Team Flare's activation of the ultimate weapon, the tower designed to share eternal life was now posed to destroy all of Lumiose City. And the only way to stop it now is for a trainer and Mega Floette to reach the control panel. Urbane's resolve had only been strengthened. Team MZ would be the ones to save Lumiose. But as for Akari, she did not share that enthusiasm. To her, this was still not her place. Not her fight. This was a battle that Team MZ would have to fight alongside Zygarde. Not her. And so quietly, deep down, Akari had decided that she was going to throw her match against Grissom. But before Akari could leave, AZ stopped her in the lobby, and he handed her a small metal object, one that Akari recognized instantly. It was her old Survey Corps badge, the one that had been missing from her uniform in the museum. How did you get this? It was given to me so that I may give it back to you. By who? A friend of yours, I believe, that taxi driver. You mean Zach? He did not say his name, only that I should return this to you when the time felt right. Akari saw her true self reflected in the badge. She wasn't some dreamless girl left to wander a world not her own. She was the girl that gave hope to a struggling village, who helped bridge the gap between people and Pokémon. Even when the Galaxy team turned their back on her, she would stand up to face a crisis and save the world. And now, Team MZ had supported her every step of the way here in Lumiose City. And if she turned her back on them now, then this badge would mean nothing. The blood of the Survey Corps still flowed within her veins, and as long as she breathed, the Galaxy team would live on, and she intended to make them proud. Thank you, AZ. I think I needed that. I am not the one you should be thanking, but there will be time for that later. You have a promotion match to win, do you not? Yeah, I guess I do. And so Akari then made her way back to Grissom. The last remnants of Team Flare would clash against the last remaining member of the Galaxy Team's Survey Corps, in a battle that would decide the fate of Lumiose City. Charizard, one piping hot battle to go. There's not a Mega Charizard Z, is there? You carry nothing like the burdens that I carry, and yet you think you'll be able to save Lumiose. May the flames of Team Flare rage strong and true, and burn away all of our shame and regrets. Charizard, let your dark flames pour forth. Yeah, I think it's a new Charizard. Like Dark Fire or something. Akari got off to a strong start, managing to take down Grissom's Pangoro, Malamar, and Pyroar without any casualties of her own. But that lead quickly diminished when Grissom's Tyranitar came into play. It managed to strike down both Green the Gyarados and Snert the Emboar, before finally going down to Boys the Heracross. Grissom's Salamence quickly retaliated to knock out Boys. Hamamatsu the Electros put up a good fight against the dragon, and we even remembered that we could run away from attacks, but ultimately she was unable to keep up the pace and was defeated. Valerie the Gardevoir fired back with a powerful Moonblast, finishing off Salamence, and Grissom was down to his last Pokemon. Is it a new Charizard form? I have to know. My wasted youth, nothing but ash and ruin. Mega Evolve and burn it all away, Charizard. Like, it's gotta be. Everyone's had new Megas. They wouldn't just pull the curtain out from underneath. They wouldn't just change it all up right there at the end. No, it's Charizard. It's regular Charizard. Akari responded with a Mega of her own, Booze the Garchomp. The two Mega Dragons traded blows before Booze finally took down Charizard, claiming the victory for Akari. Akari had finally reached the top of the ZA Royale. You've been promoted to rank A. And despite his previous convictions, Grissom graciously turned over the responsibility of protecting Lumiose City to Akari and Team MZ. It seems you are now Lumiose's strongest Mega Evolution user, Akari. please take care of Prism Tower and our city. I may have been defeated. I may have been found unworthy of becoming Zygarde's trainer. But I'll build a life that shows these things aren't what defines me. Grism. It seems self-serving desires crept in and overshadowed the ideals he holds dear. Though I, of course, am to blame for that. Thank you for helping him see the error of his ways. Prism Tower appears to be near its breaking point, and unfortunately, Zygarde still lacks the last of the cells it needs to use its full strength. When the time comes, I hope you'll be able to protect this city. Or rather, not the city itself, but every living being here in Lumiose City. That night, after a rather uncomfortable zoom-in, Urbane reveals that he too made it to rank A. Guess what? I made it to rank A too. Whoa, you both reached rank A the same day? It must have helped you two a ton to have strong teammates like each other to train with. With 2 A-ranked trainers, we'll be able to take care of the tower for sure. But dinner was cut short when Floette began to feel the effects of Ange. She was able to shake it off, and Team MZ reassured AZ and Floette that they would resolve the crisis with Ange once and for all. But when they went to bed that night, none of them knew that the events that would unfold before sunrise would change Lumiose City forever. A thunderous explosion echoed throughout the city, wrenching the patrons of Hotel Z from their sleep. Team MZ quickly regrouped and made for the rooftop. AZ and Floette were already there, and the gravity of the situation was made quite apparent. Oh my gosh, Prism Tower. I really don't like the look of that glow. The time I feared has come. It won't be long before the tower, before Ange goes rogue as well. Ange will go rogue? The excessive mega power I spoke of before, that which the tower has been emitting, it will likely cause an explosion of rogue mega evolution across the entire city. It'll be alright, AZ. Team MZ's gonna take care of it. The plan was for Team MZ to take Floette to the Prism Tower, Mega Evolve her, and have her deactivate Ange. And on our way to the tower, we ran into Kingsley again. Don't think you'll be the only one with an Alpha Magikarp for long. This dude has his priorities straight. The world is ending, the tower is glowing, but no, he needs that Alpha Magikarp. At the base of Prism Tower, Vinny asked the important question: who would be the trainer that would ascend with Floette and calm the tower? I'll do it. But you and Akari are both rank A now, Urbane. That's right, so we should battle so I can prove that I'm the strongest trainer. Then I'll be the one to save every person and Pokemon in Lumiose. And so Akari and Urbane would face off against each other, the 2 strongest trainers in Lumiose City battling for the approval of Floette. Before, Akari would have turned the responsibility over to Urbane without a second thought. But now, she felt an old fire roar back to life within her, a sense of duty she hadn't felt since that day atop Mount Coronet long ago. The first matchup was Urbane's Meowstic against Booze the Garchomp. Urbane tried to set up with Light Screen, but that's probably not the best idea when facing a Garchomp. You might be Team MZ's secret weapon, but I'm our leader for a reason. But Urbane swung things back in his favor when his Goodra dealt massive damage to both Hamamatsu and Green, leaving them both poisoned and unable to continue fighting. I may not have found the person that I came here for yet, but I've met so many people that I care about. Snert danced all around Urbane's Avalugg, enduring some pretty heavy hits, but easily overpowered the walking coffee table. I'm gonna be the one to fix the tower with Floette so everyone can keep living their happy lives. Snert also quickly struck down Urbane's Meganium. If I'm gonna protect everyone in Lumiose, I can't go losing to you. But sacrificed himself to take down Manectric. The double knockout. Is he got a Mega Froligator? I can't believe you got me down to my last Pokemon. You're a great trainer, that's for sure. Yes, Mega Froligator. Finally, I can see the next Mega Starter. Oh wow, he's got a big giant face. Valerie dealt a strong blow to the Mega Fraligator, but it powered through and hit back hard, taking down Akari's Gardevoir. Then the legend himself, Boys the Heracross, came in to finish the fight. Let's go, boys! Not only had Akari convincingly won that battle, she was crowned the strongest Mega Evolution user, despite not actually Mega Evolving in the battle. You know, I'm really happy that we met. Having you as a member of Team MZ makes me proud to call myself its leader. And quietly, Akari was glad that she had gotten to know him too. Despite his loss, Urbane still insisted that he be the one to go with Floette. Akari could see that his conviction burned brighter than her own, and that there was no use getting in his way. Floette gave the Floettite to Urbane, who immediately put it to use and Mega Evolved Floette. Alright, Floette, Mega Evolve. The two of them made for the top of Prism Tower, but, well, I guess they just couldn't find the door. Ange's control room was illuminated by all of the mega power it was emitting, and Urbane decided that it would be a good time to start live streaming. Hey Akari, you better be watching. Ha, that reminds me, you still got to start in my Hotel Z ad when this is all done. He initialized the shutdown, and Floette's Eternal Flower began drawing in all of the mega power coursing through the steel frame. The strange glow faded away, and Prism Tower returned to normal. This is Vinny speaking. The light from the tower appears to be fading. Over. But well, things are never really that easy, are they? The shattered structure of Lumiose's pride and joy crumbled away, absorbing all of the mega power had caused Floette's Eternal Flower to go rampant, growing to a monstrous size and supporting itself with the remnants of Ange. And Urbane was trapped inside. I was kind of joking when I said we were going to fight a tower, but I can't help but notice I think we're gonna fight a tower. Then Urbane called in. Akari was relieved to hear Urbane's voice, but before she could say anything, he spotted Zygarde on a rooftop in the Magenta District, and seeing that as potentially their only hope, directed Team MZ to make their way there. But there was a slight problem. I think that Tower going rogue is causing other Pokemon to undergo rogue Mega Evolution. While these Megas are still normal sized and don't have any fancy mechanics, they still have the HP buff of a rogue Mega. And even in a 3-on-2 all-out Mega Brawl, they're still a bit tough to take out. But I love the pure chaos that they bring, and I wish we got to team up with other trainers like this a lot more than we ever did in the game. This first fight was primarily a Heracross honor battle between Mega Boys and Rogue Mega Heracross. And despite being at the not a supercharged boss Pokemon disadvantage, Boys put up a good effort and came so close to winning. We lost the Heracross honor battle. And with the Rogue Megas defeated, Lita decided that the best course of action in this crisis was to stand around and talk. Lumiose City was a mess at the moment, and Team MZ needed to find a way to Zygarde. What's zappin', Team MZ? Kanari from Dynamo is here to help jumpstart this show. Check it, I brought backup too. The top-ranked trainers in Lumiose had come together to help protect the city. Even Jacinth joined in, providing us with an aerial view of the city from what I can only assume is her personal spy satellite. After much deliberation, they came up with a route for Akari to take, where she would have to team up with everyone to eventually make her way to Zygarde. Although, Jacinth did point out the missing link. It occurs to me that Grisam is among us. I mean, that's true, but shouldn't we focus on what those of us who are here can do? Do you even get how crazy it is we're all here like this? We come from all walks of life, yet we've crossed paths simply due to our various ties to this city, then butted heads in our promotion matches, and now we're helping each other out. Come on, you lot, it is time for us to save the city! Akari's first stop was to help Ivor and Gwen deal with some rogue mega Pokémon. It was a brutal and chaotic battle, devastating most of Akari's team, but the trio managed to power through and defeat the rogue mega Pokémon. Justice prevails! Or well, so they thought. It's time for us to make a stand. Catch me if you can. Wait, but no, you're not taking a stand, you're running away. Whatever. With Gwen playing tag with some extremely dangerous Pokemon, Ivor punched some metal in the face and made a path for Akari. This time, Akari linked up with Kanari and the Racine construction crew. The plaza had been littered with debris, so Tarragon and his crew would clean up while Akari and Kanari faced the rogue mega Pokemon. Also, Manny, that guy from the Kanari Quiz Wiz contest, is here too. I beg your pardon? Me? You want me to help too? Akari and Kanari, those names are really hard to say back to back, made quick work of the Blastoise and the Steelix. You may be the MP of the ZA Royale, but me and Electros get the award for most improved. But that was still enough time for the crew to clear the path. Or do whatever this was. Dang, Pops, you really didn't have to go this hard. Like, seriously, we just needed a path forward. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. How's my dude Manny holding up? Kanari's grandpa is so kind. He told me that I'm good at more than just quizzes. And this is kind of why I like Manny as a character. I know I memed on him a lot, and I thought he was just gonna be some throwaway Super Kanari fan or something, but no, we're here at the apocalypse, and he's still here, and he helps save the day. What an absolute legend. Akari's next stop was to help Laban. It was a hard-fought battle, but nothing that a shiny Mega Gyarados can't handle. Man, it feels great to battle side by side with someone who's not uptight. Fighting beside Jacinth is always a struggle for me, honestly. What is it you struggle with, Laban? What in the fuck? We will revisit your attitude and choice of words another time. For now, it appears some uninvited guests have decided to join us, Laban. Jacinth sets up another Jacinth zone to trap the second wave, giving Akari an opening to keep moving forward. Then, it was Corbeau. Report in, Felipe. How's it looking over there?
Well, we've borrowed a ladder that should help us reach the rooftops.
I see, that'll work fine. Ne'er-do-wells like us gotta show what we're really worth at times like these. The fight against the Gardevoir and Gallade was probably the shortest one of them all, despite Corbeau being at the type disadvantage. And after this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. You were supposed to put a ladder up here. So, tell me, why don't I see one? Well, we tried setting up a ladder, boss. We even tried the Holovators and... And what? All your trying doesn't seem to have resulted in anything to show. Well, rogue Pokemon busted them up, boss. They smashed everything. Guess we gotta do something about this ourselves, then. Oh my gosh. You know how Mega Evolution is an expression of the bonds between Pokemon and people? It is an expression of the bonds between the members of the Rust Syndicate. A human ladder! We've already fallen off the straight and narrow. At this rate, we're gonna fall short here too. Looks like we're one person short. Don't you worry about me. My word's my bond, and I'm not breaking either tonight. This is our highest ceiling, literally. No need to hesitate, climb on up. I mean it, don't dilly-dally. You better climb up quick, because I don't know how long we'll last. This is genuinely the most amazing thing ever. Go get him, Akari. But then Akari is cornered. And who comes to her aid but Grissom? Okay, yeah, we all saw that one coming. Now we got the fire squad out in full force. Now then, with that disturbance taken care of, I'd say it's time for a little coffee break. I will never be able to outrun my connection to Team Flare. Nor can I change those who will never forgive Team Flare for what happened 5 years ago. What I can control is what I do next. I will protect the people of this city, no matter what they may think of me. Suddenly, dog! Zygarde leads Akari to a nearby rooftop, overlooking the rampaging tower. I see you have proven yourself worthy of Zygarde's trust, Akari. I have gathered 99 of the lost Zygarde cells. Only one cell remains, the 1% we need to complete Zygarde at last. But afterward, will Zygarde, and you, truly be able to pacify this raging monstrosity? Will you be able to save Floette and your friend who are trapped within this rogue tower? The answer lies with you. I know that I was once among those who could choose to take rather than to give. But that is no way to save the world. You must be the one who gives. Give to Zygarde that which is dear to you as a trainer. Give it the courage that drives you to stand and fight. Give it the opening it needs to attack. And Floette is ready to destroy anyone who comes near it. Zygarde and Akari made their final stand on two fronts. Zygarde hit Ange from the sky, while Akari kept it busy at the ground level. She and her Pokémon faced off against two of Ange's flowers, which they thought would be a hard fight, but Akari quickly learned the power of cheese strats. Seriously, you could just hide behind this wall and use ranged attacks for a pretty easy win. With Ange's flowers forced into a retreat, Zygarde had its opening. It swooped up above Ange and lashed out with a powerful strike of 1,000 arrows. Ange charged up its Light of Ruin and fired off a massive barrage, raining down on the city in retaliation. But Zygarde quickly came down to intercept the attack, putting up a shield to protect Akari from the onslaught. Round 2 was a bit more tough, not just because the flowers had gained some new tricks, but Akari's Pokémon did not seem to have self-preservation on their mind. You know, I really would have appreciated if you hadn't gone right into the f***ing beam, Gyarados. Zygarde would drop in to protect Akari from the devastating Light of Ruin attacks, and she was soon able to make another opening for Zygarde to go in and strike Ange. This time, it unleashed an overwhelming and devastating Land's Wrath attack, finally turning the tide's battle against Ange. Zygarde and Akari were fighting together seamlessly. There was no room left for doubts. The two of them were the only things standing in the way of the complete destruction of Lumiose City. Akari made one final opening for Zygarde, and the two shared a quick nod. That bond that Elle had so often mentioned had now been fully formed, and Zygarde went in to end this once and for all. The light within Ange died, and Lumiose City was quiet once more. The tower, or Ange, or whatever it's called, stopped. It seems you and Zygarde managed to save the day, Akari. Yo, don't forget about us! Everyone else then showed up for the celebration. Akari might have been the one chosen to fight alongside Zygarde, but this ragtag team of people from all walks of life had come together, risking it all to protect their home. If anything, Akari saw them as the true heroes, not herself. This victory, it was all theirs, not hers. Vinny assured everyone that Quasartica would throw a huge celebration. This never happens, and they all departed, finally able to rest easy now that the day had been saved. Just one last step, Floette. Do your thing. What was that sound? Good question.
Wait, it can still move? What's Ange trying to do?
It seems like the night wasn't over just yet. It can't be. No way. If Ange fires Floette's Light of Ruin while it's all powered up like this, then there won't be any Lumiose left to rebuild. But then, something in Akari's satchel began to shake. It was the pebble that Zygarde had entrusted to her when they first met. It was now glowing with a strange energy, and when Akari closed her fist tightly around it, she could feel it change shape to become a Zygardeite. Akari tossed the new Mega Stone to Zygarde. There were no other options. Their backs were to the wall. It was time for Mega Zygarde. And Mega Zygarde was not what I was expecting. He just gets a cannon. Ange fired off its final attack, bringing a massive swell of energy down on Lumiose City in one last act of desperate defiance. But Zygarde and Akari now stood as one, brought together by the unstoppable bonds of Mega Evolution. Zygarde took up its position and readied its cannon, preparing its new, most powerful attack. Nihil Light. And Akari gave the order to strike. The two attacks collided in midair, clashing and exploding to create a rather beautiful cascade of energy that rained down on Lumiose City. And it would have been quite pretty, if not for the massive catastrophe that led up to it. And as the dust settled, Urbane emerged from the rubble with Floette in his arms. Akari came rushing over the moment that she saw him. The tower had been stopped and the day saved, but seeing him again is what finally put her heart at ease. He was a little shaken up, and Floette was exhausted, but the two of them were otherwise unharmed. Akari and Urbane had started this journey together, and now they had finished it together. She couldn't have asked for a better friend. As ever, it is our choices today that shape our tomorrows. I will be forever grateful to you, Team MZ, my dear friends. And as the credits roll, we get a glimpse into the immediate fallout from the previous night. The sun has risen, and the tower is in ruins. Jet does a broadcast, likely to explain the situation, and it's witnessed by Andy, Andre, and Zach the taxi driver. And everyone comes together for the cleanup effort. Even Manny, he's still hanging in there. Kanari decides to livestream it, and of course, Naveen is watching it instead of working. Ivor Justice punches the rubble, Gwyn uses ghosty powers on the rubble, and Emma is contributing about as much as she did for the main story. As the sun sets again, the Rest Syndicate brings back their ladder to help reach the rooftops. Laban and the Society of Battle Connoisseurs are dealing with the remaining rogue megas, while Jacinth does this. The Novu Cafe is handing out food and drinks to everyone, and I think this is the first time I've ever seen Grizel smile. Mabel is investigating Team Flare's old base, and Elle walks off into the night. Soon after, the work is done. The plaza has been cleared and is now teeming with life. Zygarde watches on in approval, and eventually Wild Zone 20 is established. But unfortunately, not everyone would see this day. Even his grave is imposing. Although, I guess that's fitting for AZ in a way. Seems like he handled all the preparations for it by himself. He had me take his measurements, but he told me it was so I could make him some new clothes, not to have his grave dug. Keep watching over Lumiose, AZ. We'll make sure it becomes like you wanted, a city of harmony between us and Pokémon. For 3,000 long years, he bid farewell to so many. And now, we bid farewell to him. Let's go home. We need a good meal. Yeah, that. I'm starving. It'll be that curry again, I suppose. Got so much left to take care of, so many things to clean up and set right. But Akari remained by the graveside. She hadn't known AZ as well as the rest of Team MZ, but the old man still held a special place in her heart. When she had first arrived in Lumiose City, she had felt lost, directionless, but AZ had taken her in, and had given her a place to belong with Team MZ. He had helped her every step of the way, and even helped her remember her true self. In many ways, he reminded Akari of all of the people that had helped her in Hisui, people that she had never gotten to see off, that she never got to say goodbye to. And maybe it was too late here, but she was finally able to say the words that she'd been dying to for so long. Thank you for everything. And while the main story had come to an end, there was still some stuff left to do in Lumiose City. First thing, completely missing this new Pokeball in our room. Then Team MZ was invited over to the new Wild Zone 20 to discuss Akari and Urbane's wishes for reaching rank A. On the way out, they ran into Jacinth and Ivor, who seemed to have a lot more in common than they initially thought. My dream is to help every resident of Lumiose become the best trainer they can be. And my dream is to make the citizens of Lumiose strong so that we can get rid of wild zones. I would never have expected to share a dream with someone like you. You know what? I never thought I would actually say something like this, but I think I can get behind shipping these two. I think they would make for a fun and completely insane couple. Akari was expecting a more formal event, so she changed into something a little bit fancier. But by the time they got to Centrico Plaza, Vinny and Jet were all that was left. As you know, reaching rank A in the ZA Royale earns you the right to have one wish granted. As long as that wish is within the capability of Quasartico Inc. to grant, of course. Initially, Akari's wish was going to be for a legendary bar crawl around Lumiose City, but unfortunately the game did not provide us with that option. So Urbane and Akari combined their wishes to keep the ZA Royale going. The infinite ZA Royale. But before seeing to that, Akari made a more permanent outfit change. That dark jacket was a little bit too gloomy anyway. Then we caught a Chikorita. Please work, I need the Chikorita. Thank you. It's Mega Meganium time. I haven't got to see this Mega yet. And it looks like I'm not going to get to see this Mega yet. That's kinda what I was expecting. It's not my top pick, but I think I can get behind it. Akari took on her first match in the Infinite ZA Royale, which was a rather nice blast from the past. Oh, it's Zach again. If they call me Le Z Eternal, it's because the Z is the ultimate, the end to all that comes before it. Well, at least he has a bit more of a positive attitude about it. You got a slow bro. Maybe I should not lead with my... I said he has a slow bro. Huh? I'm sorry, what? Am I just rematching the actual fight? Over the course of the entire game, Zach has only managed to grow his team by one singular level. It is such a dumb joke, but I love it. After crushing Zach's dreams all over again, Akari was called back to Hotel Z. We meet again. I would speak with you about AZ, but words fail me. How does one speak fittingly of such a man? It's tragic that after seeing so many others to their rest, he was alone when his time came. Still, I am glad for the conversations he and I had, however scant. Excuse me, but what did you want to talk to AZ about? About the agony of being unable to die. About his deeds, both good and heinous. Even though it was for the sake of peace, he did build Ange. Do you consider that a bad deed? Not necessarily, though the havoc it wreaked on Lumiose is undeniable. The exact casualty is unclear, but we can surmise that Ange's influence resulted in more wild Pokémon gathering throughout Lumiose, which led this city, built for humans, to become a place of harmony with these wild creatures. But now, we have separated Pokémon and humans into different areas once more. I wonder, is it right that we keep each other at arm's length with these holotech barriers? Perhaps we will find another way. Some more of Lysander's memories had returned, and he mentioned the Pokemon that gives, and the Pokemon that takes. Xerneas and Yveltal, who had been completely absent from the story until this point. Oh, don't tell me I have to pick. Do I get both of them? I wish I could tell you more. I am sorry. For now, all I can remember are these epithets. I will leave the rest up to you. Please, find the two I spoke of. So there's the Xerneas and Yveltal story. Okay. Alright, but before we get to Xerneas and Yveltal, I just so happened to notice there was a Pokeball here in my room, so... containing a Lucario. Okay. It's the Lucario we Mega Evolved. Okay. We'll just leave that there for now because I already have a Lucario. What are you doing, man? Oh, I swear, I can't with this guy sometimes. But this Pokeball contains the Lucario that once belonged to AZ, which he actually got from Corina. He also leaves a note recounting much of his past, including a mention of the darkest day in Galar. And that made me happy because back when Legends ZA was first revealed, My theory was that Galar would be the next Legends game, and this seemed to support that. But nowadays, well, okay, look, I'm not gonna say anything, but if you know, you know. Anyway, Grissom helped us investigate Yveltal, bringing us back to Quasartico HQ. Yveltal is a real nasty piece of work. He nearly took out a whole Team Flare unit on its own back when we tried to capture it to use for the ultimate weapon. And that was when it was in its dormant state, mind you. Well, it is the death Pokemon, so murder is kind of its thing, I guess. But to face Yveltal, we first had to rematch some of the rogue Mega Pokemon through some new Quasartico tech. The device is kept in the lower level. We call it our Rogue Mega Evolution Simulator 3000. What happened to versions 1 through 2999, I don't know, but it was pretty easy to blast through these rematches. Oh, that's a Yveltal. The bacon bird appears! Wait, how am I all the way over here now? He's a lot smaller in person. We've detected Yveltal's life force. I suppose you must have found it. Yveltal is an extremely dangerous Pokemon. I trust you will take care of it. Oh wait, we're not doing like a... I thought it was gonna be like a Rogue Mega Evolution battle, but no, it just seems to be a very straightforward, normal battle. So we went into a one-on-one battle with the Pokemon of literal death. And I was prepared for this to be a long and drawn-out fight, wreaking havoc on the city around us and... Oh. Wait, what? That's it? What just happened? Like, was that supposed to happen? Was it supposed to be easy to catch? You know what? Not gonna look a gift Yveltal in the mouth. You never stop surprising me. To think that you'd be able to conquer even Yveltal. I'm kind of surprised myself. I did not think it was going to be that easy. We talked to Mabel about Xerneas. Greedy little imbecile! And she sent us to investigate some odd readings in various wild zones. These were some out-of-place alpha Pokemon, and after clearing them all out, Xerneas appeared in Wild Zone 11. And again, it really wasn't much of a fight. Oh, never mind, that was also extraordinarily easy. I've seen other people do these battles, and it seemed like they had a lot more trouble than I did, so maybe I just got really lucky. I don't know. But with both legendary Pokemon captured, Akari returned to Hotel Z, where she was once again met by L, a being that gives and a being that takes. Both actions are vital to maintaining balance, but in excess, either could destroy it. My memories remain vague, indistinct, yet there is one thing I know. Long ago, I tried to give too much, but my good deeds saw no reward. I wallowed in despair, in resentment, and I decided to take everything for myself instead. And then came Zygarde, a being that seeks to correct excess, to find moderation, to restore balance. I can only imagine that is why it would save me, the one who fired the ultimate weapon. And now I must ask something of you. Battle me, so that I may see who you truly are as a trainer. Now, while these two battle it out, and this absolute banger of a battle theme plays, I just want to take a moment to say that Legends ZA really saved the character of Lysander for me. Back when I played X and Y, I didn't really give him or Team Flare a second thought. They kind of felt like one of those, they're bad guys do bad things because this game needs an antagonist sort of deal. But then they really gave him some much needed development here in ZA, and I think they brought him to a very interesting conclusion. Even though it's not really a conclusion. I don't see him as a villain anymore, but I also don't quite think he's a hero either. He's not actively working against the player, but his role in the main story, even though it's very vital, it's very small, especially since this crisis is kind of his fault. He's more of a mysterious background character, a shadow that watches from the sidelines, and I'm kind of glad they took that approach with him. that they didn't just go, oh yeah, by the way, Lysander's a good guy now. He still carries the weight of his sins on his shoulders, and he likely always will, but we see him starting off on that same journey that AZ's been on over the past 3,000 years. And I think that's one of the many interpretations of the game's title. Z to A, the end to the beginning. AZ's story has ended, but L's story is just beginning. He's now filling the same shoes as AZ and starting to walk that same road. And perhaps 3,000 years from now, Lysander will have his Floette moment, where he's reunited with something or someone that's very important to him, and then he'll go on to spend his final days guiding others to resolve some other crisis before that torch of near eternal life is passed on to someone new. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt we'll ever see that future, but it's kind of fun to think about, I guess. So yeah, in short, I never really thought much about Lysander in the X and Y days, but after ZA, as you can kind of tell, I have given him a lot of thought. This is why we battle, to reach understanding. Trainer to trainer, trainer to Pokemon, and Pokemon to Pokemon. I suppose that is why AZ, like you, wish for the ZA Royale to resume. 5 years ago, a group of children stood against me in defiance. If I tried to understand them, perhaps I would have never fired the ultimate weapon. Zygarde Doggo. How curious. I believe it meant to beckon you to the tower. Will you battle Zygarde? I will in fact battle the Zygarde. Oh, it's got its own battlefield. Okay, so it's not just a fight like Xerneas and Yveltal then. This is gonna be an actual showdown. The battle with Zygarde was long and grueling. It's basically a 3-stage rogue mega battle on steroids. It took me several attempts and numerous Kanari moments. Oh my god, dude, it just runs into the f***ing fire like that. Come on. F***ing hell. I don't even know how you're meant to dodge that to begin with. Oh, for f***'s sake. But finally, we conquered the Big Z. Ooh, what type of Pokemon do I want to catch it in? Oh, yep, it's the Doof channel. Dive Ball Zygarde. And Akari finally got to boop its snoot. Oh, he booped his snoot. Much like AZ wandered far and wide across the world in search of Floette, I too shall travel across vast reaches in search of ways to create the world I yearn for. When people manage to meet, it is a gift. Even living in the same time and place is no guarantee. The fact that we, and so many others, met and banded together to make Lumiose a better place is something we should truly treasure. Barring some great change, I doubt we will meet again, but I will carry these lessons with me. Au revoir, my young friend. So is that it? Is that the complete main story? Keep on battling in the ZA Royale? I mean, I don't know what else left there is. So I just did whatever I could think of. I completed the Pokédex, and then went out and did all of the side quests, including the one where we faced off against the Furfrou League, where the champion has a shiny Furfrou. All that was left was to keep battling in the ZA Royale, which I did. And finally, we went up against Urbane, and some stuff happened. And that something was going up against Mega Floette. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I guess it really depends on how you look at it, Floette left her tower cosplay at home, so we were fighting the standard issue Floette. But even when teamed up with Floette, Urbane just couldn't stand up to the overwhelming might of Akari. Emma pulled us aside and brought us into a meeting with Jet. It turns out, Jet was the mother of Urbane's mother. They had had a bit of a falling out, and Urbane's mother left for a faraway region where she would ultimately pass away. Urbane then came to Lumiose City looking for any of his relatives, and it would take Jet recognizing the jacket for the pieces to finally fall in place. Jet resigns as the CEO of Quasartico and leaves her position to Urbane. But Akari could care less about the internal workings of the massive corporation, because Urbane finally gives us the most infamously unobtainable Pokemon ever, the Eternal Flower Floette. And not just that, but Mega Eternal Flower Floette. Oh man, that's awesome. Alright, let's go nuke a wild Bunnelby with it. And as we obliterate the local wildlife with a living super weapon, my journey in Pokemon Legends ZA has come to a close. But for Akari, there was still one question left unanswered. Ah, there he is, just the guy I've been looking for. Oi, Taxi Man! I've got a question for ya. Well, if it isn't Miss Rank A, what can Lizzie Eternal do for you? How'd you get my badge? Your what? My old Survey Corps badge. You gave it to AZ to give to me. I think you have the wrong person. No, AZ said it was for my taxi driver friend, and you're the only taxi driver that I know. Oh, yeah, he must have been talking about the new guy. The new guy? Just who is this new guy?